Summa lama dumma lama, you assuming I'm a human, what I gotta do to get it through to you, I'm superhuman, innovative, innovative, and I made a rubber so that anything you say is ricocheting off me and it'll glue to you. I'm never state mother, never demonstrating how to give mother onions, feeling like it's levitating. Never gonna get it. It's just never gonna happen. I'm just never gonna be able to actually get that goddamn rap. I think I'll have to give up my life of being a rapper, everybody. It's very sad. It's a lifelong dream. It's a lifelong dream. Ever since like a year ago or something. Hello everybody, how's it going? How's everybody doing? Welcome in. Good to see you. Who's here today? Let me find out who's here. We got a Centauri. Well, what up? We got an Alyssa. We got a Hester and a Jen and a friend of the fiend. We got a T Tamagotchi and a Centaur. Centauri. We got a Julie and a Jennifer JMT. We got a Harabed and a Cecily and a Joe baby. What up, everybody? We got a Liska and a Vero. And a Tara. If it helps, if you believe in the multiverse, there's a version of me out there that's already a rapper. Yeah, possible. It is possible, I guess. Would you stop that? What? What did I do, Alyssa? What did I do that you would be so upset about? I'm a Centaur now. We'll make doing one trip from the car with groceries easier. Yeah, you just need saddlebags. I have to live vicariously through you, Fancy. Can't get to my kettle without waking somebody else up. I swear to Jeebus, Hartley. I swear to Jeebus, Hartley. What's everybody up to? Anything exciting? You doing anything fun? Did you all see my videos that I put on Patreon yesterday? I need to put them on YouTube. Didn't have time to actually make the third one today, which was annoying. I'm hoping to get the third one edited before I go to bed tonight. Oh, and are you excited for Twitch Tales tomorrow morning? If you can make it, because we're gonna be doing Twitch Details world building, and we're gonna be doing a character creation session for the one shot character, the Twitch Tales Live. PAX Australia, October, Sunday 8th, I think it is. We're going to be doing Twitch Tales Live in the theatre with a bunch of people, and we're going to be running through a standalone story. So we're going to be coming up with the character for that tomorrow, so that I can start coming up with the story for it. Because at the moment I got nothing. I have no idea. I've not a clue how many people are going to turn up for Twitch Tales Live, because the theatre seats like 1,000, more than 1,000, but I could have like 5 people there, or I could have like 1,000. I doubt it'd be 1,000. I reckon it'll be somewhere in the double digits. I reckon I'll have somewhere between 10 and 99 people there. But I'm much more expecting like 10. So I don't know. The fewer people there are at the Twitch Tales Live, the more that each of them gets to contribute to what happens during the live show, during the actual what's going on. We'll tell people that it's cool, yeah. Yes. I don't know what to do to get a big crowd. What if nobody turns up? What if nobody's there? What if I'm a loser? Nobody comes, and then the organisers are like, let's not have this loser back again. He can't draw a crowd. Myth sends their greetings, said they couldn't make it to the stream, needed some rest. But understandably, it's ridiculous o'clock in the morning, isn't it? I mean, if he calls you Alyssa, people are less likely to confuse you and AJ. That is a good point. What happened to Rhombus Hartley? That's a very good question, Hester. I guess he died. Rhombus Hartley was the 20th level mathematician bard from the Satine Phoenix, Satine and Jameson Battle of the Bards, wasn't it? And I guess he went the way of the dodo when Satine and Jameson went exploded in all circles. I think they're still working on that Battle of the Bards thing. I still get Kickstarter emails from time to time about it, and basically it's just the two of them working on it now. So it's long overdue, and eventually it will come out, no doubt, and probably won't be met with a great deal. It'll be met with lukewarm attitudes, I'm sure, because people hold grudges. I spent an obscene amount on a stupid phone last night. That doesn't sound fun. Got pulled away from BG3 to go make dinner. Rude. Went to a fest. Money was exchanged for goods. Goods and or services. My niece is celebrating her 10th birthday today. Nice. You going to the party? Is there going to be cake and a clown? Do people still have clowns as birthday parties? Hopefully you get your new viewers with the shots that you want. Yeah, maybe. You guys see the shots? I was quite proud of them. I'm hopeful to get them in. Just for BG3 transition, yeah, they were good points. Thank you. I've got a lot of them. I've got six of them already filmed, with lots of footage to stick beneath them, and then I've got like another 18 or so scripts written to film as well. So I just need a day of green screen filming to film all of the and then cut this stuff together and put it behind myself. Boom. There's a shot. His birthday's Monday, so presents with her yesterday. Nice. Twitch details. I have to go home before and we'll miss Sunday. Bugger. You'll be missing on Sunday, Joe baby. How rude. You'll be missing Twitch Tales Live. I was hoping to come down this year but couldn't make it work with work. Hopefully lots of people show up. That's a shame, Adam. Do you think definitely 100 plus? Nah, I doubt it very, very much. Maybe their streamers will show up to heckle. Maybe. Yeah, maybe. Want a big crowd of snacks? Often donuts. Death Roulette will draw a crowd. Especially because today I got confirmation that Daily Dale is going to be there. Dale Kingsmill. She originally told us that she wasn't going to be at PAX this year because she thought she'd be in the USA, but she's not going to be in the USA. She's going to be at PAX. So I said, hey, I hear you're going to be at PAX. Do you want to be on the Death Roulette? And she said, yeah, that sounds fun. So that's good. She's a pretty big name in Australia now, so hopefully she draws some of the crowd as well. I'd like it if the Death Roulette was a big crowd again. I would really like it if the Death Roulette was a big crowd, especially because Adam's not going to be there, so we're going to lose a lot of the Viva crowd from that, and then we're not going to get as big of a crazy donation shit like last year. So we can't expect to be raising like $7,000 and having hundreds of dollars every few minutes donated. Last year we raised $7,000 in an hour. Thinking it'll only be double figures and then your brain tends to coop when the whole is packed. Nah, I'd be able to handle that Tamagotchi. Like if I was expecting like 30 people there and there was 1,000 people there, I'd be amazed and flabbergasted, but I'd be able to cope. Like I don't get stage fright in front of a crowd. If only a handful of people turn up, we turn it into a lock-in and do live D&D. Clowns, no. Cake and pizza, yes. Nice. Have you filled up the live D&D game yet? No, I haven't yet, Adam. I was going to talk about that today, actually. So if you've been thinking about it already, or you missed the Patreon announcements and stuff, I do have a live D&D game that I'm running at PAX Australia. Well, at Melbourne, before PAX. So you don't have to have tickets to PAX to do it. So you just need tickets to my event. It's at a private location. There are 6 spots, but 2 of them have been taken, I think, so we are looking at 4 spots left. So if you want to be involved with the D&D game with me, live D&D game with me, and other folk from the community. It is open to you guys first. You are the patrons, and so you get first access to first refusal, as it were. I'm going to give you a little while longer to say yes or no to that. If you want to be involved, find the post on the Patreon. It was very recent. It was only a few posts ago. And comment on it saying 1 ticket please, or 2 tickets, or 7 tickets, and then I'll say not 7 tickets, there was only 6 to begin with, and then I'll berate you for not knowing simple maths. My niece is going to Claire's the jewelry shop for a party. Another wee girl is so excited she was actually shaking when she got the invite. That is so cute. Claire's the jewelry shop, Claire's accessories, the one that's in like White Rose Shopping Centre and shit. My son and daughter's joint birthday party later today. Nice. Lots of birthdays around this time. I mean, it is September, isn't it? Yeah. September is the busiest month for birthdays because everybody's fucking at Christmas. Setting fire to pizzas. How's your podcast channel doing, Rob? Okay, I think. Like there's not a huge amount of people listen to it, but enough people to have made it worthwhile doing it in the first place. It's not taking off and winning any podcast awards anytime soon, but it's plodding along. The more channels we've got out there for people to discover the Robert Halley GM brand, I guess, the better. Shorts have some good points, and we're not precisely the target audience. No, it's not. Like, you guys aren't really the target audience of the shorts. The shorts are for grabbing people who are getting into D&D through Baldur's Gate 3, like people who aren't really into D&D already and don't know much about it and have just gotten into BG3 through video gaming and are like, maybe I want to try D&D. They're going to get their nails and hair done and can pick out stuff from the shop. That's super cute. Not have not much time at the moment for any Twitch or Discord, unfortunately. That's a shame. I can only swing Friday and Saturday, big work stuff Monday, so I have to come home. Stupid working for a living. Stupid working for a living, Joe baby. Why don't you just win the lottery already? Just win the lottery and don't have to work anymore. When I asked my 6-year-old daughter what she wanted to wear for her party today, she said, whatever, just not glitter or sequins. Fair enough. People loved the Death Roulette. I think they'll show up again, no doubt. Yeah, hopefully. I'm watching the first ep of the Isolation Games. You know, the series that is short for Rob and absolutely not short for the rest of the world. Yes, we know, Rob, it's short for a TTRPG campaign. I mean, what do you want from me, Michael? It's a short series. It's a 5-episode campaign, which is a short campaign. It's only 15 hours of content or something. 15 hours is a short series. It's very odd being called Tamagotchi out loud. Haven't heard that since living in Sydney. Claire's Accessories. Yeah, I remember Claire's Accessories from White Rose Shopping Centre. Our local shopping centre back in Leeds. Love to play D&D live with you. Alas, Australia is a little too far from Germany. Bugger! Another time then. Maybe next year when I'm over that ways, when I'm over UK ways. My brother's getting married in the UK in September, so I'm going to be in the UK in September next year. I've just recently decided. I was reminded, my mum reminded me that the wedding was scheduled for September next year. So I'll be in the UK this time next year. There's going to be a lot of travelling next year. So while I'm over there, I'm sure I'll do another, what did we call it? Private Sanctum. Private Sanctum with Robert Halley GM. I loved Isolation Games so much, was referencing it the other day. Nice. I'm glad to hear it. I loved the story of the Isolation Games, but looking back on it, I was really disappointed in the quality of it, all of the shitty audio and stuff. I'm enjoying listening to the podcast in the car. Nice, I'm glad. Podcast's getting me caught up on Twitch Tales. Nice. Just a decent number watching live virtually, so hopefully it'll be an option again. Yeah, hopefully so. You've got some Claire's that turn your skin green. I'll crappy quality fake silvers and stuff, right? How are you recovering from your squats? Legs are still sore. I went to PT today, just a very brief PT, and he says upper or lower, and I was like, let's do upper body, because I explained the situation. He was like, 170 squats, not bad. Just waiting for the podcast to catch up to season 3, then I'll be ready to get caught up. Would you make the death roulette longer this time? It is going to be longer this time, Joe Baby. It's going to be 90 minutes rather than an hour. I will totes take a D&D spot if there are any left over after the public has had a shot. I doubt it, lol, but thank you, Robert Hartley GM. Not sure how Robert Hartley GM is typing there. Thank you, Wraith. Copy the link and switch accounts. My friends would call that a one-shot, parts 1 to 5. Yeah, the parts 1 to 5 of a one-shot. A 5-shot. Delete it before he tells me off. It's too late, Wraith. You failed. Just giving Rob more content for his mayoral campaign against you, that's what it is. Private Sanctum, unless patrons can think of a better name. Yeah, that's the current name of it. The current name of it is Private Sanctum with Robert Hartley GM, unless you can think of a better name for it. I was also tying up Summon Fae, because like I'm a Fae, and you're summoning me to you. I'll be coming to you guys in person to play a game with you. So you're summoning a Fae. I don't know. I just went down the list of all of the different D&D spells and was like, this could kind of work. That one would almost work. This kind of works. I just wanted something. I'm sure I feel like there's like a name for it that's like perfect. It's like just like some sort of D&D mechanic, like the name of a feat or something, or the name of like a battle master maneuver. There's got to be a name for something in D&D that also works as a representative of playing an in-person game of D&D with Robert Hartley. We'll come up with a name for it. You have a doppelganger. I wasn't a huge fan of that because Fae is a name, but it's not spelt Fae. It's spelt Summon Fae, like the spell of D&D. But it would be hilarious if Mindaris shows up with a name for a session like that, yeah. And then extorted money from us. Paying for a session in a private sanctum. What are you doing, Wraith? What's happening? You're playing a changeling swashbuckling rogue. Nice. What game is this? Who's your GM? You cheated on me with another GM. How dare you? Yeah, but when you say it though, Summon Fae. One of Connor's games, nice. Just at level 9 even. Oh, level 9's good for rogues, isn't it? What's level 9 as a rogue? Swashbuckler. Level 9 is... You get something good at level 9, is it? You get evasion at level 7. Uncanny dodge is level 5. There's something good at level 9 for rogues, isn't it? Because everybody else is getting their level 5 spells. I got panache. That can be extra charming. Is it one of the subclass features that you get at level 9? I have a question about the last NPC D&D episode. Shoot away, I guess. Won't be talking about it tomorrow, obviously, for the day after tomorrow for the behind the scenes. That clone spell that Ricky taught Lethal related to Baradune's dream back in episode 84. What was Baradune's dream? Baradune's dream in 64. 64 would have been around the time of the airship. So it was the dream where he was under the sand. Is the clone spell related to Baradune's dream back in episode 64? Not directly. I bet this GM doesn't run her over though. Doesn't go above and beyond. The conversation was between Lethal and Terence and the places they mentioned: Eastwatch, Wraith and Vertohan. Yes, I know it. you're talking about. No, the clone spell is not directly related to that. Looking forward to the meetup? Very much, yeah, very much so. It's going to be good to see a bunch of people in person again. It's been a long time. It's been a whole year since I saw a bunch of them in person. They who have I not have seen in a while? I have seen Matt Brown from Split the Party. He came to New Zealand briefly, and I caught up with him for drinks. Forgeling, I haven't seen Forgeling. Fall Cosplay, I haven't seen Fall. The geezers from Deerstock Pictures. Actually, Elliot I have seen. Elliot and Goldie I've seen since they came to New Zealand. I've seen you since then, because you came over for a D&D game. But I haven't seen your mum since that time. A bunch of the other people from the community, fans from the community that I won't have seen since last PAX. Dread, when was the last time I saw Dread in person? That would have been at Christmas, because I was over there for Christmas. Who else have I not seen? Fate Script, the Fate Script people I won't have seen since last PAX. Sumgen. Who else? I'm sure there's a bunch of people in that server that I haven't seen since last PAX. Sparrow, I haven't seen since last PAX. Hyped to meet Dread. Yeah, Dread's super hyped to meet you too, Fancy. Super excited. Thinking everyone there should have a name tag. I only know people by their screen names. Yeah. That can be a major problem, Joe Baby, when people are like, I have no idea who the fuck you are. I'll be there dragging me out early. Who else is going? Matty P. I haven't seen Matty P in a while. I don't know if Matty P is going to be at the meetup. He doesn't do well with big crowds, I don't think. He turned me down for the Death Roulette. It wasn't really his scene, I think. But I'm hyped to meet up with him anyway, even if it's not at the meetup. It's been a while since I caught up with him. Who else is going? I'm trying to think back to last year and who was there. Daily Dale, but I did see her at Gen Con really briefly, so it won't have been a year since I saw her at least. And the geezers from Ghostfire Gaming, for the same reason, I saw them at Gen Con as well. Although Joey Hayek, James, I don't think I've seen Joey since last PAX. Fancy's going to PAX? Fancy is going to PAX, yes. Did you not know, Tara? Is that news to you? Fancy's getting on a plane in a week and coming out to New Zealand. I'm going to get to meet Fancy in person, finally. What if she's a horrible bitch, everybody? What do I do? What do I do if she's a horrible, horrible person in person? What if she stinks? How will I tell her that she stinks? Is Zach going? You didn't know him last year. Yeah, good point. I don't know if is Zach going? Is Zach even in that server? That's not the right server. Where is Zach? Is Zach in this server? Stupid-doo general. Zach. Man, there's a lot of people in this server. Zach speaks giant. He is in the server. He is in the server, so I don't know. Is he going? Maybe. Would be good just to catch up with him. I feel like I've seen him more recently than PAX, but maybe I haven't. Maybe I'm just thinking because it feels like that because of Dragonlance. Yeah, I don't think I would have. I can't think of any reason why I would have seen Zach since last PAX. Dead meat, Rob. Me. Right, we are making the moat deeper, very deep. Zach's gonna be going nice, and hitting him with the digger. You can try. I'm smart enough to walk out of the way of a moving vehicle. That's the sort of smarts you want in a mare. Somebody who's smart enough to know that if a vehicle is moving towards them, however slowly, they need to get the fuck out of the way. Fancy knows where to get the best pancakes, though. Even in New Zealand, Fancy knows that? Is it just like a superpower? Fancy just always knows where to get the best pancakes? For miles around? 2 diggers, one with a high stealth, a decoy digger, and then another. I need to think about my PAX panels and what I'm going to do. I'm freaking out, man. I'm really stressed tonight, worrying about how soon it's going to be. Got so much to do. Is that cute little redhead from Western Australia coming along? That cute little wet redhead. What's her name again? Clementine? No, she's from Melbourne. G of D? No, she's not from WA. Come on, Rob, you can think of another cute redhead for the joke, for the lols. I'm sure there's another cute redhead. Where are they? Oh, I'm sure I know some more for the lols. AJ will be coming, yes. Where have I been that I didn't know Fancy was going? Surely that's been in the works for ages. Jeez. There's really good Korean pancakes in central Auckland. Recommend them. On Dominion Road? Maybe. Pancakes are literally something I have ordered in New Zealand. One blast of a bagpipe and the best pancake ever appears on a radar. It's a superpower. Angus blows on his bagpipes. Well, someone watch those notes go floating across the waves. Ferociousness appears at once and grabs a note or two for lunch. And the rest of the family nests are not too far behind. Pirate Ness appears for air and grabs those notes without a care. And he turns with a splash and a crash and a bash. Family Ness. Parcel just turned up. Ooh, is it our parcel that we're looking for? Because that's very exciting that it's turned up on time. Hang on, see if I can Google it. Google what I'm singing. Did anybody know what I'm singing? It's a very niche thing that I was singing. I was thinking the theme song to a children's cartoon called Family Ness. I used to hang at the library and then go for these pancakes. They were amazeballs. It was a good kids program. I really liked Family Ness. It was in the same sort of vein as the Poddington Peas. Anybody know that one? Poddington Peas. Down at the bottom of the garden, among the birds and the bees, there live a lot of little people. They call the Poddington Peas. There's Grumpy. There's Sweet Pea. There's Sweet Pea, Black-Eyed Pea, and Grumpy. Keep it a secret now, please. There live a lot of little people. That can't be it. They call the Poddington Peas. The Poddington Peas. And they're in the same sort of vein because they were around at about the same time, on air at the same time, but they also just like, they're just, at the heart of them, they're basically just, the pitch for those shows were, what if puns? And that's it. So like all of the peas were like Happy and Grumpy and Sweet Pea, and the bad guy was Black-Eyed Pea with an eye patch on, and then the Family Ness was in a similar vein, grumpiness and ferociousness and beautifulness and all of these like adjectives. Rob, the parcel is huge. I imagine it would be because they probably sent it with all of the packaging, didn't they? That's going to be your evening for the rest of the day then, Fancy, opening all of those packages. It is the one that we're after, I assume. Yes, it is the dice. He's a British Robes growing up. Yes, very much so. How about Stop It and Tidy Up? Did you anybody watch that one as a kid? That was a little bit before my time, but my brothers were super into it, so I was also by default super into it. Stop It and Tidy Up was a kids show where sort of like stop motion, cutout kind of stop motion, and it was all of the different it was like lots of little like cute monsters, all living together. In each episode, you got to meet one of the monsters. One of the two main characters were called Stop It and Tidy Up. And they had a bunch of other little friends called Eaty Greens and Wash Your Face and Behave and Be Quiet, and the big bad I Said No. So obviously it was all things that parents say to their kids, and you got introduced to a new one every episode, and it was very funny. Comb your hair, and don't do that. The parcel. We must know about the parcel. We'll get there. If next year you play a TTRPG game in Europe where we can participate IRL, can I participate even if we understand only 95% of what you say during a game? Yes, because you sometimes use old-fashioned vocabulary or rare words, but if every 5 minutes I quickly take the time to type it on a word to Google Translate, maybe you'd find it annoying. No? Or you can just ask me what that word means, Michael, because if we're in person and you've paid to be at one of my games, I'm not just going to fucking rush on, am I? I'm going to stop and allow you to look up what a word means or ask me what it means in context. Have a very nice rest of the day, everybody. A moment makes you smile. Oh, that's very nice. I'll go and do in real life stuff. Well, before you go to the Agundas, let me quickly tell you what this parcel is that Fancy just got. For this in-person game with D&D, with Robert Hartley GM, the people coming to it, the people who buy a ticket to play D&D with me in person, will be leaving with a goodie bag, a cool little goodie bag. And in that goodie bag, I'm not going to tell you all of it, but cool goodie bag of things includes a free set of dice from Dice Goblin, no less, who are sponsoring this event by sending me a bunch of free dice, which is very kind of them. You're gonna leave with a little bit of terrain from Modular Realms, also sponsoring this event. Very kind of her. You're going to be leaving with a character sheet and some Robert Hartley GM merchandise, and then a couple other cool surprises as well. So yeah, it's a really cool little goodie bag. I already done Played With You Live. Yeah, but you didn't buy a ticket, did you? You didn't buy a ticket to Playing With Me Live. There's different game of Playing With Me Live. This is a private sanctum. You didn't have a ticket to Private Sanctum with Robert Hartley GM. You did a Play With Me, and we couldn't call these things Play With Me because that's not going to work. It barely works on Twitch. Stop making me more jealous. I have no chance to attend. That's rude. Well, you have no chance to attend yet, but I'm trying to get you jealous so that when I'm in your neck of the woods and I put on one of these events, then you'll be like, yay, I want to join one of these things. Only spend years of channel points. Exactly. All you did was spend years of channel points. All you did was turn up to every single stream that I ran from start to end, no matter what time it was, and then save up all of those points and then spend them all. That's all you did. You're supposed to practice real life sleight of hand and steal some dice. Yes, indeed. That's so awesome. I wish I could. I want all the loot. My plane won't land in time. Stupid daylight savings and living in a too large country. Yeah, sorry about that, Joe baby. I did think about it when you said like, hey, maybe if it's later in the afternoon. And I tried making it work, but it just wasn't gonna. Like, there's too little time in Melbourne for me to do the game, the meetup with people, my prep for all of my panels that I'll be running, and then Friday, Saturday, Sunday panels themselves, and then stuff that I've promised with friends in Melbourne, and then leaving again. So there was just like, this was the only time that I could do the in-person game, unfortunately, even though it was a couple hours before you could make it. Use our points to see a BTS. Is it necessarily an episode of the Astrum campaign? At the moment, I don't have any particular desire. No, I mean, if you're spending your points, Michael, you can request a BTS of whatever the fuck you want, I guess. You could request it for one of the board episodes, or I don't know. You could try for the isolation games, but they're like 6 times longer than the Azarim episodes, so I might do like half of an isolation games episode or something. I don't know. Something else if you wanted a watch party of one of my other games on my channel or something. 5 people have done the play with me so far. It should be easy to work out because it was half a mil to begin with, right? And it's up to 850 now, so it should be 6, right? It was half a mil, then one person redeemed it and it went up to 550. It was 550 and then another person redeemed it, it went up to 6, and then it went up to 650, and then it went up to 7, then it went up to 750, then it went up to 8, and then it went up to 850. So it should be 7 people have redeemed it. Tara's one of the ones who's redeemed the points, but sitting there for a while until she gets a proper computer. Likewise, I think Myth redeemed the points, but isn't in a position to do it yet or something. Can't remember. And Sparrow hasn't had their game yet. Has Sparrow had the game? I don't remember now. I don't know. I don't know. This is why we write things down. Where was I with Sparrow? I feel like I started trying to organise something with Sparrow and then it probably went by the wayside. It was probably a ball left in my court and then I didn't do anything about it. People call the Boddington Bees. Oh yeah, a group chat was started about it and then nothing's been said about it for a while. I waited like a year so that I could do it in real life. Yeah. And it was good. It was a good game. If I've used the copper pieces to watch an episode of the Isolation Games, I'll give time code so that does not exceed 30 minutes. Thank you, Pilot. Thank you, Michael. What is this? Why have I got a... Don't know what's going on there. Why is it bumping me? Holy shit, Fancy. That's a lot. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So is that one more than what we were expecting? That's a big box, Fancy. Yeah, you can totes take all of those dice out and throw the packaging, so that it's a lot less for you to carry, because I do not expect you to put all of that in your bag. Then used wraiths to mess with her. Yeah. Because I'm nice. I'm a nice guy. I love messing with people. Wraith loved it. Wraith loves having secret information. Can totes make a huge dice pile? Start a dice-based horde? Yeah. Hartley's horde. Fancy stopped at the airport with dice in every pocket. You do the old trick, right? Here's some secrets, right? When I was traveling as a kid, right? And my parents were taking me all over the world, right? And you want to get the most out of packing your bags, and you don't want to have to pay for extra luggage. You take your heaviest clothes out and you wear it. That's obviously step 1. Everybody knows how to do that. But what you do is you subtly tie the wrists of your coat, right? You tie the wrists of your coat, and then you can stuff the sleeves of your coat with other stuff, and then you can just like have your coat hanging over your arm, or like tucked through the strap of your bag or something, and you can just be like la 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 la, but you've got a fucking massive wad of whatever in your coat, right? Then you stuff everything as much as you can into your pockets, but you also are allowed a handbag. So you have your handbag and you stuff everything in the handbag, and you're also allowed a camera bag. Back when people used to actually have cameras, not for phones, but you were allowed a camera bag. So you carry the camera, and then you stuff the camera bag full of other stuff. This is how my family would travel, because we were poor enough that we didn't want to have to pay for extra baggage and whatever. And so my dad would be like carrying a laptop outside of the laptop case, and then have his laptop case stuffed with other things. And then my mum would have like a handbag that weighed like 20 kilos, and she'd just be like walking along, like pretending like it's perfectly normal. My brother once got stopped at the airport because he had a hammer in his backpack. He'd been fishing the previous day. Oh dear. Was it a hammer covered with blood? Only works if you're not on a weight-restricted flight where you get weighed, because that tells them how much fresh veg they can put on the plane with you. Fresh veg? Is that right? Is that why people are getting weighed? Because it's like, hey, we need to know how much weight limit we've got excess on this plane for stuffing with other things. Used to stuff the camera bag full of snacks. Nice. My mum's friend got given a gift in Japan while he took unopened to the airport. Oh god. They stopped him. Turns out it was a sword. Jesus Christ. Just trying to get a sword onto a plane. Was it a ceremonial sword? Was it a blunt sword? What happened to it? Was it confiscated? Did he get it back? It was a bit fishy. Never more humbling than to be weighed at the airport. I recently read that you could go to the gift shop, get a gift bag, stuff it with clothes. No idea if that works. I imagine it probably would. Here's another trick. Well, not one that I've personally used, but one that I know a friend of mine has used. If you get to the airport and you realise, this is a very niche situation, but if you get to the airport and you realise you've got something on you that you didn't actually need to be taking with you on your little holiday. For my friend, this is an example because he had like some of his work tools on him, and he was using his regular work bag, and he hadn't, I don't know why, but he hadn't taken them out of his bag when he got to the airport and realised, I didn't need to bring these with me, and they're probably going to get confiscated as I go through, whatever. So he took them out and put them in like an envelope, like a big sort of like one of those huge jiffy bag sort of envelopes, and he wrote his name and address on it essentially. Didn't stamp it or anything, just put his name and address on it, and then went to the Lost and Found at the airport where he was leaving, and just found this lying over there in the airport. So obviously lost belongings of some kind, and so he handed it into the Lost and Found. Then he went on holiday, and then he came back, and on his way back through, when he arrived back home to the airport, he went to the Lost and Found and went, "Did anybody turn in an envelope full of tools?" Oh, they did. Oh, great, thanks. He got free storage for his things at the airport by putting them at Lost and Found. Recently read that you can go to the gift shop, so yeah, I imagine the gift shop thing would probably work. It was when I lived in Greenland, any excess weight not taken up by humans was stuffed with foodstuffs from the mainland. That's pretty smart. I've never been weighed, but I had to do the full body scan. Yeah, the full body scan's pretty routine these days, like standing in the thing as it goes. Bzz, bzz. And what pulled me aside a few times when I first saw those things was that I was expecting that it's scanning for metal, but it's scanning for like density, I think. And so because I think like people were getting around the metal detectors by having like non-metal weapons, like you can get a pretty sharp carbon fiber knife or like whatever, and so people were getting around not having metal but still having weapons or whatever. And so now it checks for density. So I walked into one of those full body scanner things the first few times, and they'd be like, did you clear your pockets? And I'd be like, yeah, meaning I cleared all of the metal things out of my pockets. But then they'd pat me down and I'd have my passport in my back pocket. And they'd be like, oh, you need to go back through. So after a couple of times doing that, I realised, oh, it's not a metal detector. It's all fucking nonsense anyway. It's all a charade's security theatre. He successfully argued it was unintentional because obviously no one would actually expect to take a sword through security. With a hammer or a sword, don't you get on the plane for free? And besides, first and upgraded. An abandoned package nowadays, the bomb squad comes and blows it up. Yeah. Lost 2 Kindles, a camera, 2 phones, and my wallet by leaving them on planes. Holy shit, Joe baby. Get better at checking your pockets before you get off a fucking plane. You'd think after the first couple of things you'd be like paranoid about it. Check your fucking pockets, Christ. Check the seat as you're getting up. Check the seat back. It's more like an MRI than an X-ray, yes. I got the full explosives pat down in one of the legs of the journey from Gen Con recently, when I was pulled aside for like security clearing or something, and they swabbed my bag and swabbed my clothes and swabbed the bottom of my socks. They got me to take my shoes off and swabbed my socks, the bottom of my socks, to see if I'd be, I guess because if you've been in a lab where they're making explosives or dealing with drugs or whatever, you're likely to have been walking around on powder on the bottom of your feet or something. So whatever, swabbing for this and that and the other. Is that where I hit my hair in a bun and had to take it down? Yeah, probably, Cecily, yeah. Always hilarious hearing Rob telling people how to travel more efficiently based on his stories. Hey Rob, more than 45 minutes between international flights. I usually do, Centauri. Hour and a half, or maybe 2 hours in this last one. It was not a 45-minute delay, it was like a 2-hour delay. The worst flight, jet lag to and from Australia to the UK. My brain literally doesn't work. I mean, that's understandable and normal, Joe baby. Australia to the UK is one of the worst things for jet lag because it's almost 12 hours. Your brain's completely out of whack. I can't talk about travelling. I definitely can talk about travelling, and I do talk about travelling a lot. Just because I have bad luck with travelling doesn't mean I have bad strategies while travelling. The bit that annoys me is when it's not clear when you have to ditch your water bottle. Fuck, I hate that shit. There's little gets me so mad when travelling as the transfer area of a connecting flight. I fly into, let's say, LA, then I get off of the plane and I'm on the disembarking boarding ramp, and I touch down a foot into the airport, and across the way from me, right there, maybe 20 yards, is the terminal for transfers, so that I don't have to go through the whole check-in bullshit and get my bags and get off the blah blah blah. And so I walk across there from my plane that I just got off, and I have to go through security, and I have to throw out the water that I just got given on the fucking plane. I can see the plane. Look, you see that lady who's waving? That lady gave me the water. One of the fucking stewardesses on the last flight gave me the fucking water. What do you think it is? Petrol? Where the fuck have I got a bomb from? I just got off of a fucking plane. No, you gotta throw it out. You gotta take your shoes off as well. Fucking shoes? Jesus, bullshit. It's especially bullshit once you've done quite a lot of travelling and you realise that every fucking airport just makes up its own decision on which things are and are not appropriate to take off. At this airport, you can leave your boots on. At this airport, you can leave your laptop in your bag. No, you gotta take your laptop out of your bag. Oh, you gotta take your belt off. You gotta take your watch off. You gotta take your passport out of your back pocket. Nah, this one just walk through. Nobody gives a shit. This one, there's nobody even on the gate. Just walk through. The guy's smoking and talking to his missus. That lady's clearly a drug mule. Hydration, hydration, hydration. Don't fall asleep until 5 p.m. local time at the earliest. Yes, yeah, gotta stay up. Gotta stay awake. Keep hydrated. No water past this point. Yeah, that same fucking thing as well. That same international transfer desk where I've just been given the water. She goes, pour this out, and I'd filled my water bottle from here because, you know, doing the right thing, not having one-use disposable plastic bullshit. On the plane, they offered me a plastic bottle, and I was like, can I just get this filled instead? So they filled this for me. I'm drinking this on the plane. Then I walk over and she goes, you have to pour that out. So I go to pour it in the bin and she goes, not in the bin. I should have just looked her in the eye and poured it in the fucking bin. But instead I was like, well, fuck that. Chugged the entire thing of this. And then had to run for my next flight and be fucking bursting for a piss. You should, like, it should be a point where you're like, if you're willing to chug like half of it, they can be like, all right, move on. You don't need to finish it. It's clearly not fucking petrol. It's clearly not some sort of explosive. Once had a security line cleared completely due to me carrying an AED. And defibrillator? Automatic emergency defibrillator. I was not fast enough to tell them before the normal scanner. Hydration, don't fall asleep. Don't think I could deal with a 12-hour flight. 8 hours to the USA is about my limit. Fair enough. To be fair though, Ratiba, like, after a point, an 8-hour flight's uncomfortable and shitty, but like a 9-hour flight's not you know, significantly worse. A 10-hour flight's like, after a point you're just like, we'll get there when we get there. If I've lasted 8 hours, I can last another 4. Last time I did a fancy 26-hour stopover, had to sit next to a newlywed couple all the time. How delightful. You want to be madder? In Japan, they have a machine to scan just the water bottle and you don't have to throw it away. Amazing little gizmo. Holy shit, really. And when it goes well, it goes bad. Jetstar guy. Jetstar full stop. Yeah, fuck that Jetstar guy. That Jetstar, fuck man, that Jetstar guy last year, he was so close to turning around my opinion of Jetstar as a whole. I will burn bridges. That's something that, like, I'm never flying Jetstar again. I promised myself I'm never flying Jetstar. I made the threat to Jetstar when they were fucking me around the last time. I was like, this is the last fucking time you're going to mess me about. Make this right or I will not ever fly Jetstar again. You miss out the rest of my lifetime of the possible income from me flying with your company or even talking about your company in positive light. This is the last chance you get to turn my opinion of your company around. And they fucked up. So I was like, fuck you. I'm never flying you again. And the last guy, last year at PAX, when I accidentally was flying Jetstar for some reason, he was so close to just actually single-handedly turning my opinion of Jetstar around because he was polite, he was kind, he was helpful when we were checking in at the check-in desk. He was like friendly, he was making jokes, and he was like understanding, and yeah, no worries, we can. And he didn't feel like he was rushing us. To the point where we were leaving the desk, and I made a point of turning around and be like, Jetstar need more people like you, mate. And then the same guy met us at the desk at the boarding ramp to the plane. And it became clear at that point that he'd fucked up because he'd put us in. He'd misunderstood what I was trying to ask back at the desk, where I was saying like, I want to be switched to this other person's seat and blah blah blah. Like we've been booked together. I want to move into their seat so that we're all sitting together. We booked at different times, but I want to go sit with them. Blah blah blah. So he was switching us, but he switched the wrong person or something. I can't remember. And I tried and explaining this to him, and he just ignored me and tried to just pretended like he was on the phone for a bit. Like I was close enough to hear that there was no one else on the other end of the line. It's just sort of thing. It was trying to, and I was just like, you can pretend all you want. I'm not going anywhere. And then this other person came across and was like, you need to board the plane, mate. And I was like, I'm not boarding any plane. And the plane's not going anywhere till I talk to this guy. And eventually he was just like, I didn't do anything, you know, blah blah blah. I was like, I'm not expecting you to change anything now. I just want you to acknowledge me like a human person to one human to another person. I just want you to look at me and say, I'm sorry for the mistake. That's all I'm asking for. Just an apology from a person to a person that like you misunderstood what I was asking for. You did everything right that you thought you had to do, but you misunderstood what I was asking for. So I'm sorry for the misunderstanding. That's all I want from you. I'm sorry for the misunderstanding. The shoes are because of that dude who put the explosives in the shoe heels. Yeah. Well, that's the thing though, innit, Centauri? Like, by definition, like the TSA, the stupid fucking security theatre that we all have to go through, they're always going to be playing catch up to what's actually happening. They can't get out in front of the innovative ideas that some people want to do to smuggle whatever they need to smuggle. They're always going to find whatever the parameters are. They're going to find a way of smuggling around it. They're going to find loopholes, and it's only when they get caught with those loopholes that they introduce more bullshit to try and close off those loopholes, and somebody else tries to find a way around that, and they're never going to stop it. All it's doing is like, think about, you look at any big airport, like fucking LAX, hundreds of thousands of people moving through it every day. That's just one airport in the world. Millions and millions, tens of millions of people through every airport all over the world every day. Think how many man hours are being wasted in bullshit pretend theatre that doesn't actually make it. And I'm not just saying things. There have been studies on whether TSA actually works and how secure it actually makes you, and how difficult it is to actually get smuggled stuff onto planes and things. It's all just pretend to make you feel better. There's a great episode of Adam Ruins Everything that basically outlines, with a bunch of facts and figures, like, and studies and things, it outlines like why it's just objectively nonsense bullshit that wastes millions of hours every day. I got Bose ones, but that's after trying a bunch of them on. Those ones were the only ones not to slide off. Rob goes out of his way to see the airport security interrogation room. Only once. I've only been in an airport interrogation room once, and it was in Dubai, and I had bullets in my bag. In my defense, I had bullet casings in my bag, which are just inert pieces of metal. It was souvenirs from me having shot a bunch of guns at a gun range months beforehand on my around the world trip, and completely forgot that I even kept the souvenirs. I had a big fuck off 20-30 kilogram backpacking around the world for 8 months, and like months and months before I'd been in America, I stayed with some gun nut friend of a friend who was like, oh, you want to see all my guns? And showed me his gun room under lock and key, and fucking thousands of guns in there. And he was like, I want to take you to a gun range. And he took me to a gun range, and I shot one of every gun that he had. Working my way up from a tiny little, I don't know, 3mm, whatever the fuck, up to like a Magnum, most powerful handgun in the world. Do I feel lucky? Well, do ya, punk? Big ass fucking break your elbow just by the kickback kind of gun. And just as a souvenir, I kept one of each of the bullet casings. And I put them in a Ziploc bag, and I put them in my bag, in my backpack, and I forgot about them until we got to Dubai and got spot checked randomly, walking through the Nothing to Declare. And they were wanting something to find. They took my extension cable for no fucking reason, and they took some bullet casings and put me in a room and shouted at me in Arabic for a bit. Noise cancelling headphones. Fucking YouTube chat really pisses me off. I scroll just a tiny little bit to try and keep up with where the fuck I am in the chat, and it just, oh, you want to get to the bottom? It jumps me to the bottom. And I have to scroll back up to where the fuck I was. Noise cancelling phones are fantastic and such a need the longer the flight. Maybe I should try some on because I'm small. Bose look good but expensive. I need to get some new headphones too. These ones are really pissing me off lately. They're really shitty. they're just really not. They're taking forever to connect to things, and they're just forgetting to connect when they're like, even without me connecting to other things. Like if I leave them only connected to my computer and I leave my phone with the Bluetooth, as if on cue. I don't know if you heard that. 2 devices connected. It just said. I haven't done anything different. One of my devices has just reconnected itself to my headphones because my headphones have been like, "Oh, you talking about me? Do I need to connect to something?" I didn't fucking touch any buttons. If planes would not pollute, I would always be between 2 planes travelling around the world. Yeah. I decided if the flight is especially noisy, I would pay the money then to mute everyone, so buying them before is just fixing it in advance. Yeah. I'd be interested to see how your travel curse goes this time around. Me too. An automatic external defibrillator. I see. Like a pacemaker, but on the outside or something. It was so nice at first check-in, then made it 100 times worse. Yeah. Probably thought you were recording it. Yeah. Perhaps you will not succeed in avoiding Jetstar. I do not book with Air France to limit the risk of strike, but when I booked with Delta Airlines, it's subcontracted to Air France, which goes on strike. Yeah, I make sure that I don't whenever I'm booking a flight, I'll check not Jetstar on the option, so it'll turn off any that are operated by Jetstar or any that are contracted to Jetstar or anything like that. So usually pretty good at avoiding them. Hope that Wraith's mum energy will see you through this trip. Maybe we just leave him. Yeah. A lot of international flight stuff is because of 9/11, and that was internal US flights, which had basically no security anyway. Yeah. Yep. I still want to look at those because casing is pretty much like actual bullets. Oh yeah, I understand them. Like I understand 100%. They show up on a machine and they go, "The fuck? Let's have a look at these." And then when they see the thing, and I go, "Oh yeah, fuck that. Yeah, it was souvenirs," and they realize none of these are actually bullets. Like they're no more dangerous than a metal cap off of a pen or something. They'd be like, "Okay, I get it. On you go." But at that point, you got to save face. Got to look like you're big and intimidating to the 21-year-old who's on his fucking OE. Mum is obsessed with nothing to declare, and she is making noises that I'm planning to bring chocolate into New Zealand. It's okay if you declare it. It is okay if you declare it. The big one is probably a Desert Eagle 50 cal, big enough that you can probably fit your thumb in it. No, it was a Magnum. Magnum. It was the same one that Dirty Harry uses. Hence the quote. But given how this is a Magnum .45, Magnum 45, Magnum 45, I think they are. Given how this is a Magnum 45, the most powerful handgun in the world. Why are you taking chocolate to New Zealand? They have Whittaker's best chocolate. Yes, Whittaker's is the best chocolate, but if you're a fan of Cadbury, get it before you come to New Zealand. Cadbury in New Zealand is shitty Cadbury. Cadbury everywhere is kind of shitty Cadbury because it's a shitty company that uses palm oil. But Whittaker's is palm oil free. Cadbury got in a lot of shit for using palm oil, and a lot of people, like, they did a very clever Mad Men-esque evil marketer guys doing evil shit. They made it sound like they changed away from palm oil. For those who don't know, palm oil's really fucking horrible for the world because they burn down pretty much all of Sumatra to have the land, to clear enough land to then grow all the palm oil. Palm oil's incredibly fast growing, and so it sucks the nutrients out of the soil. You can only plant it a couple of times before the soil is kaput, and you've got to move on to burning off more land to plant more of it. It's a really fast vegetable oil. And it's pretty much single-handedly, the palm oil industry has pretty much single-handedly been responsible for the damn near extinction of several Sumatran species, like Sumatran rhinos and tigers and orangutans and stuff. Anyway, I used to harp on about this at the zoo a lot. Cadbury started using palm oil in their chocolate. There was uproar about it, but not because it was palm oil, because it made the chocolate taste weird. And so what they did was they moved away from palm oil. They marketed it as like we're going back to using good old fashioned whatever the fuck oil, and we're not using dirty old palm oil anymore. Look at us, aren't we good? They moved away from palm oil in their dairy milk, where it was just chocolate, and you can't hide the taste behind anything else. In all of their other shit, where they put caramel into it and all the other stuff, like Cadbury's caramel and Cadbury's anything that's got any flavour to it so that you can't taste as much of the chocolate, they still use palm oil. Granted, this was, I last worked at the zoo in 2019, so in the last 4 years things might have changed. I don't know. I haven't been keeping up on palm oil news since I left the zoo. But yeah, Whittaker's has always been palm oil free. And it's just better chocolate anyway. I declared chocolate last year and the guy told me off, said, do you have anything to actually declare? Get out of here with your chocolate. Fucking asshole. They go on about it. They harp on so fucking much at the nothing to declare in New Zealand of like, if in doubt, declare it. If in doubt in any way, declare it. We can always say it's fine and no big deal. And then they have assholes who like make you not want to declare things, make you feel like a stupid asshole for declaring something that you shouldn't have declared. How long have you been afflicted by this travel curse? Not a hell of a long time, I don't think. Like, I don't remember being inundated with the travel curse when I was traveling the world. Like, no more so than I would have expected for the amount of traveling I was doing. To be honest, the two declare lines are way shorter, so I kind of pretend I'm declaring commercial chocolate just to cut the line. What you say about the TSA makes me think of the posters, throw your papers in the trash, not on the ground. But the people who do this don't read the posters, don't care. Yeah. You know how dogs can sense if you're nervous around them? That's electronics and Rob. They aren't broken. They work now. Don't get rid of us. Yeah, exactly. Please, I'm working. I'm two devices connected. Please. You don't need new headphones. I bought some shortbread in the Netherlands as a gift. Brought it back and declared it as like cookies I'd bought in Amsterdam, and the guy's like, please follow me. I've got cookies that I got in Amsterdam. Yeah, you could have done with a better wording of that. Yeah, I'm buying edible food. I'm buying edible things from Amsterdam. Maybe if your headphones no longer work properly, it's planned obsolescence. Yeah, could be. Air New Zealand on the way over? I think it's Air New Zealand on the way over, yes. Yeah. A 45 is a little smaller than a 50. Thank you, Tara. I wasn't sure which number of those was smaller numbers. So I'm glad you're here to tell me which is the smaller of the two numbers, 45 or 50. You should try Haze while you're here, Rob. Is Haze a type of chocolate, is it? Jelly tips better than Whittaker's? Mate. In what world? Also, you can get jelly tip as Whittaker's. I own a firearm, a rifle that belonged to my grandfather. Nice. Not just palm oil, they had something to change the melting point. It's gross, I can taste it, and all the time I've been here in Thailand, the only chocolate I get is Whittaker's import. Nice, yeah. Oh, peanut slab. At the bottom of everybody's bags, because it's the first thing you buy at the supermarket, is that what you're saying? Peanut slab is like at the bottom of everybody's trolley at the supermarket, because everybody loves it. Here's a chocolate company, Aussie company, zero palm oil and delicious. Nice, I shall have to try some. Whatever the fuck oil, my favourite. Cacao butter is the correct thing to use in chocolate? Yeah, but it is expensive, yeah. Cadbury's cream eggs ruined, yeah. Wraith sent me some Whittaker's and it tasted very different from even the Cadbury, Lindt and other non-American chocolate I've had. More bitter, very strange. Cadbury's mini eggs. They used to be delicious. Are they still delicious, or have they fucked those up as well? New chocolate's too sweet, and this is me saying that. Cadbury's. Once I received a promotional mail of the brand 2 years after purchase, and within a week the product stopped working. Christ almighty. I think Cadbury now uses RSPO palm oil in their filled chocolate. Something, what was it? Something sustainable palm oil. Like certified or whatever. Something sustainable palm oil. The problem with sustainable palm oil is that the regulations, regulated sustainable palm oil or something? The regulations around giving a company the tick mark for sustainable palm oil is self-regulated essentially in a third world country where corruption is rife, and you could easily just bribe an official to be like, yeah, give me a sticker. Give me a sticker and say it's sustainable. Like while I was at the zoo, there was sustainable palm oil being pushed as a movement against all of the pushback against palm oil, and so they brought out sustainable palm oils, and there was little to lacking evidence in its actual sustainability, and the zoo's official position was better to just avoid it altogether. Dad's coming next month. We're going to be setting a bunch of domestic flights. Expecting hiccups in those, yeah. Cadbury Screamer's got weird a decade or so ago. The filling's dry and sticky now. Or do we just remember them differently because we were kids? That is also an option. Like thinking back on rose-tinted glasses about all of our delights and treats when we were kids. I do try and remember that when I'm complaining about how things have changed. Is Rob on Air New Zealand and Mama Wraith's on Qantas? I don't know. Maybe I'm on the same flight as Wraith. Wraith booked for both of us. Jelly Tip is the bomb. Jelly Tip's good, but Whittaker's is just general Whittaker's is better. Like if I could only have Whittaker's chocolate or only have Jelly Tip, I'd rather have Whittaker's. Peanut slabs are the best. Yes, peanut slab is amazing. Peanut slab is literal trash. Oh, weird. That's a weird way to tell me that you quit as my assistant. That's so bizarre. Fancy, I thought we would have talked about this ahead of time, but you know, how bizarre that you just obviously don't want to work for me anymore. You're allowed to be wrong, Fancy. Everybody's entitled to their incorrect opinions. Peanut slab is great. I think I still have one from the pack Wraith sent. Bring it, I'll eat it. Wraith just said the same thing. Jesus. It's just overly dense peanuts. It'll be one of the most well-traveled peanut slabs. It's Qantas, definitely. Nailed it. Nice. Okay, Mr. Math, calibers are confusing to lots of people because they mix inches and millimeters with bullet sizing. Fair enough. I thought it was just always millimeters with bullet sizing. Like a 0.35 is like 35 millimeter or something. Jelly Tip is chocolate. Jelly Tip is jelly in chocolate. Pretty much, yeah. Time to sleep. No worries, Vera. Studied just some weeks ago that all the CO2 certificates you can buy when you want to reduce your CO2 footprint for flying and stuff are not fulfilling their promises. That sucks. Like companies switching to soy oil. It's cheap, makes grocery shopping more time consuming. Yeah. Jelly Tips and ice cream. They collabed with Whittaker's to make it a chocolate flavour. You can get it with all sorts of others though, can't you? Haven't I seen? I've seen Cadbury's Jelly Tip, haven't I? I thought I had, or maybe I've just seen Cadbury's do some knockoff version, but not called Jelly Tip. I could have sworn I'd seen Jelly Tip as various different chocolates on the chocolate aisle. Maybe I'm thinking of something else. You swap me the jelly tip for the peanut slab. Hey, variety is the spice of life, right? It takes all kinds. I bought fancy real jelly tips to try too. Centauri can't have one until she gets to Hamilton though. A 50 caliber is 0.5 inches. Oh, okay. That's stupid. Why is it called a 50 caliber? You don't use the trailing zero after the decimal point. If you're firing me because peanut slabs are trash, then... No, I'm not firing you because peanut slabs are trash, because that would be a nonsense. That would be like firing you because Scotland is in the southern hemisphere. Like, it would be like, well, it's not, so why would that be a reason for it? It doesn't make any sense, right? Peanut slabs aren't trash. Jelly and chocolate like Turkish delight? Yes, yeah. Jelly tip. So jelly tip was originally an ice cream. Like, think lollipop stick, ice cream, a Turkish delight type jelly on the end, on the tip, and then dip the whole thing in chocolate. That's a jelly tip. And then jelly tip partnered with Whittaker's to make jelly tip Whittaker's chocolate, and it's like a kind of like Turkish delight-ish chocolate. I love Turkish delight. I'm in camp Turkish delight. What are all the different controversial opinions of foods? When it comes to Turkish delight, I am team yes. Pineapple on pizza, I am team yes. Marmite and Vegemite, I am team no. M&Ms, I am team crunchy. Crunchy M&Ms. Are they called crunchy? That's not right. Crispy M&Ms. Crispy M&Ms. You gonna have some downtime in this trip? Downtime. I don't think so. I have some downtime in the Perth section of the trip, but not in the Melbourne section of the trip, I don't think. Probably going to get kicked out of this gang, but I don't like chocolate. Give me a nice pastry any day. Yeah, that's fair enough, Joe, baby. I know a couple people who aren't into chocolate at all. Not into chocolate. Like, so your sweet things come from like baked good sweet things? Because I'm probably the same. Like, if given the choice of like muffin, cookie, donut, and like chocolate, lollies, sweets, I'll go baked goods for sure. Like, I'll go Danish donut, pastries, muffins, like way more than I'd go chocolate and biscuits. Although I do love biscuits. Biscuits are great. I much prefer biscuits to chocolate. Fancy still has one of the peanut slabs. The chocolate's definitely calendar chocolate. Blech. Like delicious cheap. Wait, you've had some good you've had some good advent calendars. If you're describing it's like calendar chocolate, and by that you mean it's good chocolate. Calendar chocolate has not been good since I was like 6. I remember being a child still and thinking calendar chocolate's shit. And granted, I haven't had a calendar in a while. I haven't had a advent calendar in a good many years now. But the last time I did, it was shit chocolate. Color was different unit than inches, not upon its origins, because arcane is any other weird contrived system, yeah, probably. Edmund Pevensie would probably sell out his family for some jelly tip. Yeah, in a remake, an up-to-date version of the Wizard of Oz, the Lion, Witch and the Wardrobe. Edward's now singing. I'm trying to fit it to the tune. Turkish delight, jelly tip. Anyone else finding that their taste in chocolate is getting darker with age? My whole family is 100% dark these days. I found the same Tamagotchi. Like yesteryear, in years gone by, in bygone eras, when I was a child, big into white chocolate. White chocolate was my fave, and then now I'll still eat white chocolate, but it's not the one I'll reach for. Like I'll go for a dark chocolate nowadays. Not too dark though, like 70% probably at most. I probably wouldn't go for like 80%. That's too bitter. And I'm really not a fan of coffee and stuff. I think bitterness is not my taste. Been looking for the last hour, but this talk of chocolate and yummy things has drawn me back in. Peas on pizza? I don't think I've ever had peas on pizza, but I wouldn't be opposed to it. How about sweet pizza? You guys like sweet pizza, dessert pizzas? Like apple and cinnamon or whatever? I love a dessert pizza. Anchovies on pizza? Not my go-to, but I'd be okay with it, I think. Crispy M&M's! And they did that once, Fancy. I think you were toying that you'd ever do it again. Who's there's quite a few pineapple on pizzas. Marmite on pineapple on pizza is actually pretty good. I don't know if you're joking, but that does sound like something that people would try. I like proper Turkish delight, like rosewater Turkish delight, but the confectionery Turkish delights are delicious. Yeah, I'm a fan of both. I'll have actual Turkish delight as well, but I prefer like chocolate Turkish delights, like Cadbury Turkish delights or whatever. I'll have salty snacks and sweet things like pretzels. Oh, pretzels. Like a soft pretzel, just any pretzel really. Like snacky pretzels. Pretzels is something that I will not be able to stop. Not into dessert, but I'm into chocolate. Given the choice between baked goods and plain chocolate, I'll go chocolate. Hot apple pie with a scoop of vanilla ice cream. Oh, that sounds nice. Biscuits are great. Like good shortbread is so much nicer than chocolate. And Danishes are from heaven. Yeah, a good Danish. You can't not. There was a place in I want to say France. When we were traveling, we were about to get on a plane. We were about to get on a train. So Lizzie and I were traveling all across Europe with like these Eurotrain pass things, where you can basically get on and off trains for free as long as you want, essentially, for like 3 months or something. I don't remember exactly how it worked. And we were due to be leaving a town. Coming with me on a journey through my memory as I try to reformulate this memory. We'd been staying somewhere at like a backpackers or something, or like a couch surfing most likely. And we tried some like cheap apple turnovers from a supermarket. One that comes in like one of those real flimsy plastic containers. And there's like 2 triangular apple turnovers. And they were fucking divine. But they were cheap and from a supermarket. And so we had them like a few times while we were staying there, and then on the way to our next train I stayed behind to pack the bags, and Lizzie ran off to the supermarket to like be there when the supermarket opened so that she could run in and get some more apple turnovers and come back and meet me at the train station with the bags, just so we'd have some more of these apple turnovers. Not a fan of cake. I'm not a massive fan of cake either, Harabed. Like, yeah, like you say, like eat cake to be social. Like if you're at a birthday party and cake's being served, I'll have a slice. But I wouldn't buy cake off of a dessert menu unless there was nothing better really. Calendar chocolate's only good if you're young. Hey Rob, did you try and get at the D&D donut shop near Gen Con? I didn't actually, Cecily. No, I forgot about it. What was it called? Was it the... Oh no, it wasn't. It was Wizards of the Cones. Was an ice cream place, not a donut place. I don't know if I knew there was a D&D donut place. This is how all of us are breaking up over chocolate. Broken up before the moat even gets dug. Lint is amazing. Lint is very good. Robert, I hear you say you don't like coffee. I can't stand coffee. I've never liked this taste of coffee at all. It's really sickening to me. I don't even like the smell of coffee. It makes me feel blech. Which has saved me a lot of money in my life. I never did advent calendars. I think my mum thought it was so bad and she was Brazilian. Brazilian chocolate is gross. We just did random stuff each day. Easy peeler to be healthier. Fair enough. I like dark chocolate with mint. After dinner mints. Yum. Yeah, after dinner mints are good. Dessert pizza is just cobbler with more steps. I think it's cobbler with less steps. Fewer steps. Like, cobbler is not as quick to make as a dessert pizza would be. Perswari naan. What is a perswari naan? Just a garlic naan for me, mate. Man, I want to go out for a curry. I haven't had a proper Indian curry in a while. Ouch. Make peach pizzas. What else goes on a peach pizza? If you want to find culinary horrors, you just have to look at the United States. Rob, have you eaten today? This is why all of the food talk. I have eaten today. Yes, I had. What did I have for lunch? I had a chicken kebab, a chicken skewer after getting home from the gym, and then I had the last of some leftover spaghetti bolognese with potato slices throughout it, which was very nice actually. Roast potatoes, fried potatoes, really thinly sliced and mixed throughout the spag bol. And then I had a sausage wrap and some mac and cheese bites, like frozen mac and cheese bites in the air fryer. Wasn't the most bestest of foods today, but I haven't been shopping, so I was a little lacking on things in the cupboards, and I couldn't be bothered going shopping. I was in I can make something out of this, and then I'll have more desire to go shopping tomorrow when I've got even fewer things in. Eventually, my lack of desire to go shopping is outweighed by my desire to eat. I will mix most foods just to see. I'm terribly unrefined. I mean, I've been there, Harabed. I've been a student. I've been a student where I've looked at the cupboard and gone, I can mix those things together. That's surely a meal. I was talking about this in Ben's chat the other day, where I was like, 2-minute noodles, they superficially resemble spaghetti. And tomato sauce, that superficially resembles bolognese. So 2-minute noodles with tomato sauce is kind of like spaghetti bolognese. It was not. It was revolting. I just basically wasted my 2-minute noodles and my tomato sauce. And I say basically wasted because of course I finished it. I just wished, as I was eating it, that I'd just eaten them separately. On the US have culinary horrors. Michael, definition of horror is all about what's relative culinary starting point is. Yeah. Always order extra to have the next day. Yes, indeed. I got dared to have a peach and ham toasted Sammy once because we were making pineapple and ham ones at work. It was actually really nice. Yeah, I mean, sweet fruit with meat is either you love it or hate it kind of thing. I've always loved it. Like people, I was talking to somebody the other day that was like, nah, I don't like meat with my meat. I don't like fruit with my meat. And I was like, you don't have applesauce with pork? And he's like, nah. I says, you don't have cranberry with turkey? Nah. You don't have pineapple with your gammon steak? Nah. Alright, fair enough. But so many meats go with fruits. Like really well. We have poutine. I do like poutine when it's good poutine. Like the other day, somebody said, just yesterday, somebody said something about I don't like pulled pork. And I was like, what? And my instinct was like outrage. And then I was like, well, no, I also had pulled pork at Gen Con that was fucking revolting, and I had to throw most of it away, which is a huge deal for me. I do not waste food, especially meat. I hate wasting meat because I know how much energy goes into raising animals to slaughter and then sending that meat to various different places to process, and then it's just like the meat industry is fucking outrageous for the world. So if I'm going to be ordering meat, I'm going to fucking eat that meat. So it was saying something that, like, how bad the pulled pork was. It was just so fatty and greasy and just made me feel queasy just eating it. It was from a food truck at Gen Con. Now I want pancakes. There's a place, there's a cafe near me, Fancy, when you come visit. There's a place near me that I'll take you to, a cafe where there's a they do some real nice pancakes, like stack of pancakes and stuff. Love good fruit turnovers. Love sweet pizza, pineapple all the way. Yeah, boy. You've gone places just to have cake. There's a restaurant down in Wellington. I think it shut down in the end, unfortunately. Lizzie worked there for a while. What was it called? Doesn't matter. It was a dessert-only restaurant. Like, they only served sweet foods, which was a really interesting gimmick at the time. People, you'd have your food elsewhere, and then you'd go to this restaurant just for the desserts that they had, and they had a huge menu of desserts. I like deep fudgy cake on menus, but I'll get other stuff from a restaurant before I get cake too. Yeah. Coffee is foul. Yeah, coffee is gross. Coffee tastes gross. And so many people who really love coffee said, "Oh yeah, I hated coffee at the start. You've got to get over that bit." No, what? It's like being like, yeah, I fucking hated heroin, but I really persevered to make sure that I got myself addicted to it. Just don't get over. Just make sure you don't get over that stage. Just don't get into it in the first place, because it's expensive and addictive, and it genuinely gives you like withdrawals if you take yourself off of it and stuff. Like it's not a great thing to get addicted to it. But people think it's like, culturally, everybody's got to love coffee. It's an entire part of the world that I've just been like, I know that coffee exists, and I know that it's a big part of a lot of people's lives, like a good coffee, and talking about coffee and jokes about coffee, and finding the right coffee shop in your place where the barista just does the coffee exactly how you want it, and then that barista gets fired or goes somewhere else, and you're like, no, and it's a big it's like breaking up and having to go find a new coffee shop, and people make whole big deals about their coffee. And it's just an entire section of life that I'm just like, I'm never going to experience any of that, and I'm fine with that. I really like cake, but mousse is good. Usually I believe you have to understand other people's behaviour taste, but I'm appalled by some American videos. The girl who drove his car on meat to tenderize it, or... What? Made punch in a toilet. What? Piswari naan is sweet naan with coconut and raisins. Ah, I have had that, and it is delicious, yes. Sultanas and bits of dried orange and stuff in it, yeah. Yum, yum, yum. Fucking chat keeps jumping, god damn it. Fucking hell. I don't even know how far back I've gone now. There. A delicious sweet savoury bread. Yeah, the chicken pies you made. Did you also then make more pies out of the pie filling that you made too much of? Sounds like someone doing it for social media clout, and then some people actually doing it, yeah. Moved my treadmill outside today. I was convinced that would motivate me to use it more. Now I'm laying here in my bed talking about yummy food instead. Peach pizza is usually sliced peaches, peach preserves, orange juice, and cream cheese on dough. Yum. That sounds good. I like apricot on pizza. I like chicken, apricot, and cranberry is one of my favourite types of pizza. You disgraced both the whole of Asia and Italy by saying that instant noodles are basically pasta. Like, no. They are though. They are though. Let's be honest. I'm with Ben on this. They're basically the same thing. If you put mint in a savoury dish and serve it to me, you're dead to me. Applesauce and pork chops. Mwah. One of my favourite dishes as a child was pork chops with applesauce dolloped on it and then cheese on top of that before you put it under the grill. And then the cheese like solidifies around the like goes crispy and solidifies around, like keeping the applesauce in a delicious little pocket on top of the pork chop. Then you can cut into it. Mwah. Yum. I hate applesauce on pork. I'd rather have the applesauce separate and cold. Fair enough. Can't do fruit and meat unless it's something sharp like cranberry. Applesauce belongs in apple pies. The best pulled pork in St. Helens in the east coast of Tasmania. I want to get to Tasmania one day. Tasmania. I'll pick food options based on what pudding I want. That makes sense, Fancy. A lot of people do that. They look at the dessert first and go, okay, I'm gonna save room for that. And then, how big is this meal? Like, is this gonna be too filling for us? It's very interesting dating AJ though, because like when we go to restaurants, she's got a tiny little stomach, and so she only eats small portions. So she's never got enough room for any dessert or anything, and she's barely got enough room to even finish her main. We had a similar restaurant, but it was pies, giant slices of pies. Ooh, yeah, nice. I thought I had one time I went to we were staying with some friends in Switzerland. And we went around for dinner, and my mum warned me, like, hey, by the way, the dinner we're going to is just an apple pie. Like, they have their dinners differently here. Like, they have their main course is like during the middle of the day. Like, they'll come home from work in the middle of the day and have their main food, their main meal, like a roast dinner or something. And then they'll go back to work and finish the work in the afternoon, and then they come home and have dessert for like their evening meal. And like a big dessert, like an apple pie or something. And it was delicious, but it was very different. Coffee and heroin, basically the same thing. I know a lot of people who would very much agree with me. People tell me you get used to alcohol. I'm like, why would I want to? Yeah, same thing, AJ. Like, people told me the same thing about coffee as they have with alcohol. They're like, oh yeah, you'll get used to drinking though. I'll be like, no, I won't, because I'm not gonna allow myself to drink enough to get used to it, because why the fuck would I want to? It's inconvenient to not like coffee. How so? Why is it jumped even while I was holding the goddamn thing? I thought I could get around the jumping issue by holding onto the the bar at the side to stop it from scrolling, but it didn't work. It's inconvenient to not like coffee though, especially in my job meeting people. Can't say no to a hot chocolate, please. I mean, why not? That's what I do. Or I just say no thanks and order something cold. People offer like, do you want a coffee? And I'm like, no thanks. Doesn't take much. You can turn down things that you don't want. It's okay to say no. Stand up for your own boundaries. Be like, no thanks. I don't like coffee. People doing a coffee run, or for like, if people are taking orders for everybody's coffee, they're already taking 100 different orders, because they're taking soy flat white, no sugar, black, blah blah blah, latte something, cappuccino this, blah blah blah, all these different fucking types of coffee. Doesn't cost them anything to write down soy hot chocolate. That's how I feel about alcohol. People saying it takes time to get to like it. I can't believe it isn't just a bit of a scam and everybody hates it. Everybody's afraid of pretending like of coming clean and saying that they actually hate it. Yeah, you can easily ruin cake by making it coffee cake. You can ruin ice cream by making it mocha ice cream. You can just ruin pretty much anything. Chocolate by making it coffee chocolate. Get rid of them all. I just don't like bitter things, because too dark of a chocolate it gets awful. Coffee's super bitter, don't like that. And like Guinness and stouts, they're too bitter and gross. I don't really drink tea either. No, neither do I. Told myself I'd start drinking them more when I grew up, and I'm nearly 40 years old now. I've got a bet with my brother that I'll one day like beer. He made this bet with me when I was like 15 or something. Maybe 16, somewhere around there, when I was drinking but shouldn't be, kind of thing. I was going out with friends who were drinking and shouldn't be, and that's to put it more accurately. And I was like, I just don't like beer. And he's like, you will one day. Because he was 3.5 years older than me, so he was in his like I'm drinking a lot kind of phase of like being 18, 19. He's like, you'll like beer one day, and I was like, £10 says I won't. And so I've got a £10 bet with my brother that one day I'll like beer, and it only occurred to me like a few years later that I can't win that bet because he's always got the advantage of being like, one day is still not arrived yet. When you're 63, you might like beer. And so I'll just have to keep pushing the goalpost back and back and back. The only way that I can ever win the bet is by dying, because then I have proven that I've gone my whole life without liking beer, and then I die, and then if he outlives me, he's got to give me $10 at my funeral. £10. £10 with inflation. Do the tea and the Sprite hack. Tea and Sprite? That doesn't sound like a good mix. I had that on toast for dinner, was very yummy. I have a whole bunch of pies in the fridge. Nice. Tea for breakfast, tea for warmth, tea for comfort, tea for afternoon. Teas at all times of day. Are your noodles equals pasta? Still no. Genuinely different ingredients. Yeah, but, you know, come on. Come on, let's be honest. Let's be honest. They're basically the same, right? We're all friends here. You can be honest. They're basically the same. Salmon and pineapple is tasty. Not a huge fan of salmon. Like I've never been a huge fan of fish. Like I'll have fish and chips, and not too fishy fish. There was a fish that I had at oh shit, that was at PAX. We can do that again. Oh fuck, we should definitely go to the Viking place. What evenings do I have free to go to that Viking place again? Mjolnir. I want to go to Mjolnir. Oh shit, dog. I need to message Dread and Forgeling. Mjolnir. I had fish at Mjolnir that was very nice. It was like a really meaty fish and really well cooked, and I can't remember what it was called. Some Australian fish. But other than that, not a big fan of seafood in general. Like I'll eat salmon fine, but like it's not my favourite, it's not my go-to. I love food and drinks, spend way too much time trying out places close to me. Fair enough. Looking forward to going to that Viking restaurant. I'm on the same wavelength as you, Wraith, but mine's like however far behind the chat I am. Rob, if you come to Tasmania, I'll drive you around and take you to get that pulled pork. Nice. Let's do it. I was at a conference in Italy. We had a conference dinner. It was 10 courses. I nearly died after 3. Jesus. Like 10 big courses? Usually when it's like a 10-course meal, it's like an hors d'oeuvre is the first course, and like a palate cleanser is the second course. Joe Baby grew up in Tassie as well. Nice. The chef was outraged when I started sending food back. It was literally full right up to my eyeballs. It was so delicious. That's insane. Were you eating all of was it like being delivered to you, Fancy, and then you ate everything? Was there coincidentally 10 small bite-sized portions and there were enough for everybody at the table and everybody else weren't hungry? Is that what happened? Are you in top chat or live chat? Live chat doesn't seem to jump for me. Oh, okay. let's go to live chat and see if that changes anything. Maybe that'll help. Thank you. If I'm in a cafe, it's easier if I get hot chocolate, but when it's their office, it's more difficult. Oh, fair enough. If it's their office, like, they might not have hot chocolate, in which case I'll be like, water's fine. That's usually what I'll say. Get around it by asking for water. Yeah. If they say, you want a coffee or tea or something, I'll be like, water would be great, thanks. Twice now I've had to have a latte because I get in too deep before realising they only have coffee. You can always say, no thank you. Didn't realise you only had coffee. I don't drink coffee. Stick up for yourself. Be confident. People like confidence. Whatever your clients are, whatever your customers are, they will appreciate your confidence in sticking up for your own boundaries and saying, I don't drink coffee. I thought you had something else. I don't have to choke down a drink you don't want. Gross. Love the smell of coffee and love iced coffees. Plain coffee's too bitter. Lunster makes a banoffee pie. I'm gutted because they put coffee cream in it instead of normal cream. But how do you feel about licorice? I like licorice. I am a fan of licorice. I enjoy it. I mean, I don't know about like fucking licorice root, like the raw licorice, but licorice all sorts. Huge fan of them. Like licorice flavored jelly beans, stuff like that. The black jelly beans that everybody hates. I'm a fan of those. I once needed a black tongue for something. What did I need a black tongue for? Was I playing a goth or something? I don't remember. I don't remember what it was that I needed a black tongue for, but I bought a bag of just the black jelly beans and just smashed a few before going on stage or on set, or wherever the fuck I was filming. Yeah, there's not a lot of things that I drink. I noticed that at an early age. I don't drink tea. I don't drink coffee. I don't drink alcohol. I don't drink a hell of a lot of fruit juice and fizzy drinks because of the hugely high sugar contents of them. And mainly just water. Like if I'm out and I want a drink, like something that's not water with a meal, I'll probably get like lemon lima bitters or like L&P or something. But I'll have like maybe a glass and then go back to water. If I'm out at like a social event, like a Christmas party or something at a bar, I might have 2, maybe 3 lemon lima bitters, but then even then I'll start to feel like that's too much sugar. There's far too much sugar. I'll just need to drink water the rest of the night. Drinking things is definitely not one of my vices. I love Guinness. Never understood the need for a slightly less bitter Lady Guinness. Is that what they do? They do Lady Guinnesses? That's gross. I don't drink much, but I have had a pint of Guinness at my brother's bachelor party. So my brother was it was in 2014, no 2012. 2012. So I would have been 22, something like that. 23, I think by then. And my brother was pretty wasted already. We were out at a bar. His mate came back with a couple of pints of Guinness and started chugging one, gave my brother one, and he's like looking at it like, I don't want that. And then it wasn't too long before when somebody goes, oh, taxi's here. And he goes, oh, for fuck's sake. And he looks at his thing like with oh God, and now I have to drink this. I have to not only have it, I need to chug this back. So I was like, I'll take one for the team sort of thing. And I grabbed his Guinness and I chugged it back. And so I drank an entire pint of Guinness, which is basically a meal. It's like I don't think it counts as a drink if you have to chew it. It's so fucking thick. It's like a meal in a glass, and it was not pleasant. In hindsight, should have just left it. Like, what's it gonna do? Like, it's already paid for. It doesn't matter if it then makes me feel sick. How do you feel about cilantro? Coriander? No, it gives me the soapy taste. I've got the gene where it makes me feel like it's soap. I don't like beer again. That's a problem when going out with work people, especially in the US where they don't have cider. It sounds like more of a problem that you don't know how to say no, Lachlan. You don't know how to stand up for your own views about not drinking things you don't want to drink. I like bitter, but for me it's spicy. Interesting. Black pepper's too spicy to say the least. Jesus, that is problematic. Put the bet into your will just for the lols. Yeah, probably should. Better put a tenner in your coffin, yeah. I want a tenner with inflation. A tenner that was promised when I was 16. How much is a tenner worth these days? Can somebody open up an inflation calculator and tell me what £10 is worth? From, let's say, 19? No, wait, that can't be right. Holy fuck. Like I was 16 19 years ago. He'll still say you must have changed your mind on your deathbed and not told anyone yet. For your bet, maybe I can add a clause to it now. I recently tried mead for the first time. It's a massive winner. If I see that as an option again, I'm in. I tried mead at the Viking restaurant that we went to, and again, it was just like, okay, it's alcohol. It's like all the other alcohols I've tasted. I'm not in it, not a fan of it. I've tried to be a fan of alcohol. Like throughout my teens, I was trying pretty much everything there was. You name it, I've probably tried it at least once. But it very quickly, by the time I was in my early 20s, I'd lived through the days that most people are binging the most that they're ever going to drink. And I'd come out the other side still not enjoying alcohol, still not needing it to have a good time. I get drunk by proxy, by which I mean like when other people are drunk around me, my inhibitions are down just like I'm drunk, but I still have all my senses like I'm not. So I'm still like, I will happily just like play the silly bugger and do things that people do when they're drunk, being stone cold sober, knowing that everybody else is pissed. And if everybody else is pissed, like, they're not going to remember what I'm doing. So it's like, who the fuck cares if I'm acting like a silly idiot? My sister's all like Guinness. I think it's vile. Even my beer drinking brother can't stand it. That's fair enough. Yeah, Guinness is very much a love it or hate it kind of thing. Strangles Rob with fettuccine. Fettuccine or ramen? They're basically the same. My grandparents will have been married 60 years next April, and Grandad still owes Nan £5 for her engagement ring. That's cute. Riz has been talking about the Viking place for ages. Yeah, it's closed on Sundays and Mondays. Oh shit. Better get there on... Oh, and I fly on the Tuesday. Fuck. So I guess... Friday night? Saturday night? Maybe Saturday night. It's so good I want to go. The not too fishy fish is the best kind, yeah. Barramundi, I think it was Barramundi, yes, yeah. I love raw salmon, will eat smoked salmon if I have to too. Viking place, that sounds good. We had a medieval restaurant that is pretty good. Skewers come on a dagger. Yeah, so at this Viking place called Mjolnir, first they bring out just a leather roll, and they unroll it, and it's just like slotted like you'd see in a movie in a scene where somebody's about to get tortured, and they wake up in a dimly lit cellar, and there's a single light that's swinging from the ceiling, and there's a guy that's barely in the shadows that unravels a roll of torture devices. It was like one of those scenes, but they bring this round, and there's just a dozen different daggers, like hunting knife-sized daggers, and you just get to pick your knife, and that's the knife that you're going to eat your meat with. Pick your hunting knife, essentially. A big shing. I love the fucking ivory that's on the handle of this one, or I love the stonework handle of this one, whatever. And then there was just like a smorgasbord of choice, kind of like they bring out a buffet of things, and you've got like fish, and you've got potatoes, and you've got this and that and the other, all these like hearty Viking meals, and you're dolloping on all of it. It's fucking delicious food, really good food. And then you can drink mead from a horn, an actual like Viking horn, and they teach you like how to actually hold it so that you can drink from it without it all suddenly going sploosh, because of the weird shape of it. You can, if you drink it wrong, there can be like an air bubble suddenly gives, and then the bottom half of it suddenly comes out and hits you in the face. And then there was like bone marrow from a torched, like they bring out a half of a bone that's still got the marrow in it, and then they blow torch it in front of you, and then you eat that, you scoop that out onto bread or whatever. And then you can buy a shot of whiskey through the the blow-torched flute, essentially like a funnel, and they put the whiskey down it, and you're properly feeling like a Viking throughout the whole thing. And then Dag bought a cocktail, like not a cocktail, like a pot, like a what do they call it? Like, I think it was port or something. It's like heated though, mulled wine, kind of like a mulled wine. And they're heating it above they're pouring it between these two metal jugs over like a Bunsen burner flame, and then eventually as they're heating it until the point it gets to like flash point, and whoosh, suddenly it goes up like flame, and the guy's like still pouring it and it's on fire, and it's like a flaming waterfall from one jug to the next, and it's quite a spectacle. And then Dad got it and they poured it into his little champagne flute for him, and he sipped it immediately like a fucking moron and burnt his lips and didn't manage to taste much of it before he then like handed it round. Everybody sort of cools it down, and then he takes a little sip. Oh yeah, very hot wine. I don't know why the fuck, it's just hot wine. And then they put it next to me, and Dag just turns around and knocks it with his elbow, and it goes all down my fucking lap. There goes his expensive mulled wine extravaganza, and he only got one burning sip of it. Bloody Egypt. In a film, to make fun of the small portions in certain restaurants, showed a dish with 9 peas neatly aligned in a square. I'd done a 10-course thing in Italy too, but the servings were small bowls. It wasn't expected to finish each serving. The table of British folk were all struggling. You want licorice all sorts brought out? I mean, if there's room in your bag, I'll take licorice. I won't say no to licorice all sorts. Like proper Bertie Bassett's every flavour beans. Bertie Bott's licorice all sorts. No, Bertie Bassett's. I was mixing the two things up. Bertie Bott's every flavour beans is Harry Potter. Bertie Bassett's is licorice all sorts. They have licorice all sorts here, but it's not the brand licorice all sorts, and it's not even it's like I've ranted about the naming of it because it's just the one fucking licorice thing. It's the one that's in a square that's like 3 layers of colour. It's like the green, white, green, or whatever, the green, white, black, white, green. It's those ones, which are delicious, but it's not. You can't call it fucking licorice all sorts. It's called all sorts because it's got all sorts of different licorice in. It's got the little circular ones with the little pebbly dots on, and it's got the round one with the target thing in the middle, and then it's got the square ones, and it's got this, and it's got like the black and white zebra striped ones. You can't call it all sorts until it's got all sorts in it. Fucking New Zealand lollies. We have a lot in common when it comes to food and drinks, Rob. It seems like it. Lemon bitters, yeah. Once needed a black tongue for something. What was this spell and what were the other components? Most drinks make me thirsty or straight up hurt. I went to Guinness Factory in Dublin and had a taste there. I couldn't finish it. Ah, damn it. I thought we'd fixed the problem, but it didn't. In the live chat it suddenly jumped. I do refuse to drink beer, but I get the disappointed eyes like, why did we hire her? Guinness doesn't taste the same in Ireland and Canada, which I found interesting. It's more bitter in Ireland, I think, which I found funny. Yeah, I mean, it's bound to not taste the same when they're not brewing it in the same place, right? We don't do age math, Rob. It makes everyone cry. Man. I'm almost, like, next year, so the 2025, I will be turning enough to have been 18 twice. Like, I will have been an adult as long as I was ever a child. That'll be an interesting midway point. Had the nicest mocktail with dinner the other night. A mango pina colada. Nice. The soapy cilantro thing is a gene that's closely associated with genes that increase sensitivity to bitter. Yeah, there you go. Finding things like coffee way too bitter is at least partly genetic. I mean, it's probably entirely genetic, right? My taste buds is going to be genetic. Speaking of genes and food, one of the things I find funny is the asparagus thing. So asparagus makes your pee smell strange, but only if you've got a particular gene. And you can only smell asparagus pee if you have a different particular gene. So you might eat asparagus and then pee and think, oh, I don't have the gene that makes my pee smell weird after asparagus. And then somebody else walks into the bathroom after you and goes, oh, you've been eating asparagus. So you might have one or the other or neither. Or both, I guess. We make mead, and all meads are the same, very dependent on the type of honey and the time it was brewed. It mellows with age. Yeah, I mean, not all whiskies are the same, right? But they're all going to taste the same to me. Somebody who doesn't know anything or know anything about alcohol, it's all going to be like, yep, that's alcohol. Does wine taste good or bad? Not a fan of wine. Soju is a different shout. It's cheap here. Which flavour does Sprague like? I've even tried, what's the rice wine? What's the Japanese rice wine? Whatever that is called. I don't like that either. And I've had like good stuff. My mate from Japan was like, I'll make sure to give you like a taste of what it should be like, and then you can tell for sure like if it's actually good, because that's one of the things you can get. That's one of the infuriating things you hear over and over again. If you're like, I don't like oysters, and the person goes, oh, but you can't have had the good oysters then. Yeah, you haven't. Wait till you've had my oysters, then you can blah blah blah. It's like, no, I've had 4 different types of oyster. I don't like oyster. But yeah, if I've tried the expensive stuff and I don't like it, then I can confidently say I don't like that. Don't waste it on me. I like tea and coffee, but not alcohol. I think it tastes it really strongly because I can often tell there's alcohol in a sauce when other people don't notice it. Yeah, I can do the same roti, but it's the reason I don't like fondue as well. Fondue had I really like raclette, but I don't like fondue because it's usually got alcohol in it. I don't mind tea. Like, I can drink tea. I don't like tea, regular like English tea, as it tastes like copper. It tastes like dirty coins. Whereas like green tea or something, it won't be my favorite. But if I'm having green tea at like an Asian restaurant or something, I can drink it. I can drink it if I have to. I did a tea tasting thing when I was at a backpackers hostel in, I want to say, San Francisco once. Mine gives me migraines. Is there any truth, like scientific study to the thing that people talk about with like different alcohols have different effects on them? Like, just as weird examples, like, I can't drink tequila, it makes me violent, and like, I can't drink whiskey because I get horny, and beer makes me feel this, and wine makes me feel that. Like, not emotion, like behavior-wise, can different alcohols affect your behavior differently? Because I've always thought that sounded like bullshit to me. Strangles Rob with 2 ropes. One is braided with udon, soba, rice noodles, glass noodles, etc., and the other is a lump of pasta made with premium durum flour. Yeah, so basically the same thing. I'm glad we're on the same page. That sounds awesome. Never heard of this Viking place. We'll need to check it out. I had a medieval feast for my birthday last year with these huge knives. You bit the meat off. Nice. It sounds like you would have a good time, Joe Baby. Definitely while you're in Melbourne, check it out. It's called Mjolnir. Mjolnir. It's down a relatively thin street. Authentic Viking blowtorches. Yeah, authentic Viking blowtorches. Dag won't be there to set himself on fire this time, yeah. Dag's not going? Nah, he went to Gen Con instead, and he can't afford to go to both. It's expensive, man. By the way, how's Harvey? He's alright. I probably should go check on him soon. How long have I been streaming? 2 hours? He's alright. I messaged a dog sitter today from a service online to be like, hey, I need to start having external help looking after him, because I'm constantly getting to the end of the day and feeling guilty about not exercising him enough and things. He just requires so much energy. Like, I'll take him out, even on the days that I do take him out for a walk, I'll be like feeling good, and I'm like, the weather's nice, I'll go out for a walk. I'm busy as fuck, but I'll break off for an hour and go and take him out for a bit, and I'll run around a park with him at an off-lead dog park, and I'll fucking throw sticks back and forth until I'm exhausted from just standing there throwing sticks. That's how long I'll do it for. And then I'll put him back on the lead and I'll walk home with him, or run home with him. because I'll sprint all the way from here to the dog park and then sprint all the way back again to make sure that I'm getting exercise too. And he might, if I'm lucky, crash when we get home for like 10 minutes, half an hour. And even if he does that, he's awake again for the rest of the day. And sometimes he just won't even crash. And he'll just be like, right, now we're home, playtime. And I'd be like, how the fuck have you got this much energy? It should be physically impossible. I don't feed you enough for you to have this much energy. Are the little kibble pieces that I'm feeding you like dark matter? Are they made of like solid battery? How have you got this much energy ingesting into your body? So I finally was like, I'm gonna need to arrange some things in my budget to try and have a dog walker every day or a few days a week or something. So I looked into that today, and I'm gonna be looking into a house sitter and stuff while I'm away, obviously for house sitter for while I'm away in packs and things. Any of the days that I have to leave for like filming Viva and things, I'm gonna make sure to have like a dog walker come around and get him. I don't know. So I'm gonna try and make sure that he's getting the exercise and engagement and stuff that he needs. Have you ever tried Dutch salted licorice? I don't think so. Rob, shut up. As a fellow 1989er, shut up. You born in the 80s, Lachlan. Gross. 80s. Blech. Turning 35. Blech. Rob and Laura babies. Babies born in the 80s, yeah, okay. It's all relative. If I was in sports, I'd be geriatric. I'd be retirement age. About to turn 35. Psh, look for any footballer that's 35. But if I was getting into politics, they'd be like, you're not even born yet, mate. Come back in 20 years. Soon you will have lived as much time in Great Britain as in New Zealand. That's a very good point, Michael. Yeah, same year. I moved out here when I was just after I turned 18. So yeah, I'll have almost lived in New Zealand 18 years. That'd be an interesting day. The day that I've lived in New Zealand for longer than I ever lived in England. I already feel like I'm a New Zealander. Like I don't really correct people if they call me a New Zealander. I love a pina colada. Every posh bar and restaurant that makes cocktails does their spin on pina colada and makes it wrong. I don't want a banana colada, I want a pina colada. A pina colada. If you like pina coladas and not banana coladas. Thought you were going to spout a fun asparagus fact about how tasty it is. Asparagus is very tasty. Asparagus rolls, like in a piece of white bread rolled up with the crust taken off. Makes you feel all fancy. Makes you feel like, ooh, posh, ooh, you spoilers with these Ferrero Rocher. Ambassador. Sake, that's it. Future asking chat. Fucking jumped again. Fermented foods, something. Fermented foods are all gross. It's like Peanut Slab. Not everyone likes everything. No, Peanut Slab is not the same. Peanut Slab is objectively delicious, and you're wrong if you don't like it. Just came outside and neighbours are obviously having a party, but they're playing Cotton Eye Joe full blast. Does anybody know what words it actually says? I'm ready to go. Where did you come from, Cotton Eye Joe? That's it. It has to be scat for a bit. Scat up and beat and bap and battle. I read something I've been married a long time ago. I've been married a long time ago. Where did you come from? Where did you go? Where did you come from, Cotton Eye Joe? I had expensive wine. It was shit. I had one brand of a cheap box wine. It was so good. It just got trashy wine taste buds. You make fondue without alcohol? Yeah, none of the fondues I ever had when I was a kid though. They were alcohol-free ones. As I say, we had some pretty close Swiss friends, so we had fondue and raclette quite a lot when we were growing up. Whenever they would visit us or we would visit them, That's one thing. The one thing that I don't know if regret's the right word. The one thing that I miss about being in England, the one benefit that I miss having, is the availability of travel, the availability of different cultures on your doorstep. I love travel, and if I grew up in England, if I was still lived in England, and I had the same love of travel and the same career and everything, I'd be all over fucking Europe. I'd be all over Europe all of the time. Because you can just get cheap flights, and you can be, in a couple of hours, you can be in fucking Turkey or wherever. And here, our closest neighbour, which, let's face it, are basically the same culture as us. Like, yeah, there's differences between Australian and New Zealand cultures for sure, but we're very similar in a lot of our cultures. And that's our closest neighbour, and they're still like a 4-hour flight away. To get somewhere with a vastly different cultural change, like a cultural change, you'd have to go to one of the Pacific Islands. And even then, there's a lot of influence of the Pacific Island cultures in New Zealand as well. So they still wouldn't feel like you're in a foreign country and foreign culture. To get to a properly foreign country from here, you probably want to go to Thailand, Bali, maybe Japan, somewhere in Asia, I'd say, is probably the closest. And that's half a day of traveling at least. Whereas in the UK, it's like in an hour, I can be in France. So yeah, growing up, even though my family were quite poor growing up, which I didn't know until I was older and looked back on things and went, and like through anecdotes and stuff, you're telling friends about stuff and you're like, oh shit, were we poor? That's when you know your parents have done a good job of raising you, and they've instilled the right ethics and morals and things, and like habits around around money and being frugal with things, being thrifty, but like saving up, making sure that you're saving and not having a shit ton of vices for pointless reasons, so that you can save up to still have money to travel and like do things that aren't frivolous but actually have lasting memories. And so we would go traveling, relatively often. I mean, like every couple of years or two, we'd go somewhere on like a cheap trip. Maybe we'd go for a weekend in Paris or something. It was only when I looked back on it as an adult and went, oh shit, I think we were a lot poorer than I realised we were. But yeah, even as poor as we were, we would travel as much as we could afford to do so, and like I grew up seeing like some of France and Germany and Italy and Switzerland, mostly those ones. Where did you come from, Cotton Eye Joe? Alcohol's the same. It's only affected differently when drunk mixed or with too much sugar in them and stuff. Fair enough. What you say about oysters makes me think the phrase "he can't love men he doesn't find the right woman yet. He has to keep trying them." Yeah, right. Yeah. I always used to like to say the opposite when that argument would come up about being like, well, just keep, how do you know you're gay if you haven't like slept with a woman yet? It's like, how many dudes have you sucked off? How do you know you're not gay? Give it a go. Try it. Not sure if it's true for the different effects, but the smell of isopropyl alcohol will make me faint. I don't drink it. Yeah, I would suggest not drinking it. Try to do studies. The best they found is that people have these associations in mind already, and then experiences combined with confirmation bias. Yeah, sounds about right. Since Robert 700-page thesis on difference between noodles and pasta. Well, I mean, but they're the same though. So how would you find 700 pages of differences? If I don't like food, it's often more related to texture than to taste. Fair enough, makes sense. Have you found a perpetual motion machine? I would love to hook Harvey up to some kind of generator and just generate free power. You're constantly doing stuff, so he's always on the go as well. Yeah. There's an app, Borrow My Doggy. Oh, right. I hadn't thought about that. Yeah. Some people love dogs, want to take a dog up for a walk, but they can't have a dog, so come and borrow mine. That's why cats are lower maintenance pets. Yeah. Need love and attention, but not as much as dogs. Yeah, for sure. Sounds like a normal dog. Wait till he's past his teen years. Yeah, I was speaking to one of the dog owners at the park the other day that said like their beagle was super hyperactive till about 2.5. So I'm hopeful that Harvey mellows out after 2.5. I'm hopeful that he mellows out sooner than that, but oh well. Yuzu is retired at 20 something, an ice skater. Simon Biles is retired or close in early 20s. Child actors retired, yeah. JMT graduated high school in 87. Jeez, man. My brothers were born in 85. I was born in 89. I'm technically an 80s kid, but I was born... I saw like 7-8 months of the 80s. I'm very much a 90s kid. What's scary to think about age-wise? Genuinely could have a kid who's in their 20s, even into their late 20s. We can make some kids, fancy. I could give you an anatomy lesson as to why that probably wouldn't work. Ben's rants on asparagus rolls give me life. What is it? What is Ben's rant on asparagus rolls? Does he like them or does he not like them? I find them surprisingly delightful. When it's well cooked asparagus and not like slimy overcooked asparagus. As a primary school teacher, I can confirm Cotton Eye Joe is still a staple of every school disco. Yes, nice, has to be forever. Ben doesn't like tomatoes. I love tomatoes. Love tomatoes. Love mushrooms. Those are the two that were big controversies in my house. And with 3 boys, my mum could never remember which of us liked tomatoes, which of us don't like tomatoes, which of us like jelly, which of us don't like jelly. No worries, let's go see you later. I have an adult, grown, normal human co-worker once told me his mother's birth year is same as mine. I just seg-faulted. So what you're saying is when you're back in September, you're going to places in Europe too? Probably, yeah. I'll probably look to try and get around. However, saying that, as cheap as it might be to get from UK to Europe, it will be at the end of going to, in the next year between now and next September. I'm going to Melbourne, then Perth, then back to New Zealand, then back to Perth, then back to New Zealand, then possibly to Canada, then to the USA, then back to New Zealand. Then back to the USA, then back to New Zealand, then to the UK, and then maybe some Europe within that, and then back to New Zealand, then back to Australia, Melbourne, I think. So, yeah, if I can afford it, if I can find a way to make it work. And this is why, this is my vice. This is what I choose to spend my money on. I don't smoke. Never smoked cigarettes in my life. I've never done drugs. I've never drunk alcohol. I don't drink coffee. Do you know how much money I've saved doing like all these vices that everybody else has put together? Like, think about how much money you've spent on any one of those things in your life. I've saved that much money. And I saved that money for putting into travel or something like that. I still eat. I go to Pack and Save. We've got a few different supermarkets here. I shop at Pack and Save because it's the cheapest one. It's like the budget supermarket. And at Pack and Save, I buy the budget brands of shit. I save money wherever I can because I'm not rolling in it. I've got a very expensive mortgage. And I use all of that savings that I'm saving wherever possible. I like nickel and dime and thrift as much as I can so that I can afford to do the things that really make me happy, which is traveling. And for a long time, I didn't get to travel because I was at university. And then when I graduated university, COVID hit. And so for a long time, I didn't do any traveling. And it was kind of sucky. if you can go to the Pacific Islands, same culture too. Yeah, similar cultures, but yeah. I haven't been to many of the Pacific Islands. I'd love to get out to them. I've been to Fiji when I was like 7 or 8 and don't remember it, so I basically don't count it. And other than that, I've not been to any of them. I've not been to Samoa, Tonga, Niue, Cook Islands. I'd love to get to... I've been to Hawaii. Hawaii's a Pacific Island. I've been to Hawaii, but I haven't been to any of the others, and I'd love to do a little island hopping at some point, do like a little cruise around the Pacific Islands or something. That'd be nice. Even Melbourne to Japan's like a 9-hour flight. Waves from Thailand. Everyone come here. I like going new places. I like taking off new boxes. Whenever I travel, I'm like, given the option, I'm like, I'll go somewhere I haven't been. I want to go check out this island or this country or something. Have you been to France from time to time? I have been to France, yes. I've been to Paris. I've been to Cannes. I've been to Nice. I've been to Toulouse, I think. Where else have I been in Paris? In France? I think that's pretty much it. I've been to... I'm trying to think what the name of the place is up near Belgium. Like on the coast near Belgium. Been to that place. Been to Monaco. I know it's not France, but been down south. An orange juice theory of money. When I was a kid, we had the big jugs of orange juice that would go fizzy by the end, concentrate cartons, and then not from what? See, that was my parents getting better off as the mortgage got paid off. Nice. Adam and Jen travelling across EU lately. They were in my city like a couple of days ago. Oh shit, nice. We were poor. Remember the car we had when I was young? I had to climb through the hatch back window to open the doors when it was locked. Checking the mainland Esther thing that comes in. What's this? I went to go to Sweden for an event later this year. Nearly cried when I saw the price of flights. Jesus. Yeah, thousands, mate. First time I left the country, I was 24. I'd say for 3 years. Growing up in Australia, it was very expensive to fly anywhere, and our money was always half of everybody else's. Yeah. Although Australia is better than New Zealand dollar-wise. Your earning potential over in Australia is good. Like your minimum wage and stuff is better than ours. On top of your dollar also being stronger than ours. I was finishing his vacation in Europe too. Netherlands, Switzerland, I think France, Nice. I don't know if you took the opportunity to watch Rugby World Cup matches. You good with dogs, Michael? Gives up, serves Rob a bowl of glass noodle ravioli filled with pulled pork floss and ragu sauce made with natto and wasabi. I'm sure I'd eat it. I'm sure it sounds delicious. I don't see anything wrong with it. Ben hates asparagus rolls because they're wet and gross, and he's correct. No, you're giving shitty... Yeah, why is the asparagus white? Green, not white. White bread. I didn't say white asparagus, white bread. White bread rolled around with asparagus, right? Ben blamed the UK for white asparagus rolls. I put him straight. I don't know what you're talking about. Must have so many passport stamps. I did when people actually stamped passports. Make sure Zan knows those dates well in advance, yeah. Yep. Never drunk alcohol. Ignores the stories he told in this same stream. I've never been drunk. I've never drunk alcohol as a habit. Like, I've drunk alcohol as one-offs. I've tried alcohol. But I've never been a drinker. I've never drunk alcohol unless somebody else was buying and I had reason to be drinking alcohol. I've never been drunk. Even at my brother's bachelor party, I never got drunk. Got tipsy. Could tell that I was getting drunk. But I wouldn't say I went as far as I would call myself drunk. I discovered on those days, the two closest times in my life that I've ever been close to being drunk was at both of my brother's bachelor parties. And I could feel that I was getting drunk and didn't get there, and it took longer than I expected to get to that point. And I was like, maybe I'm not as lightweight as I thought I would be, given that I don't drink. We had a cruise booked for Pacific Islands, but life happened and COVID before that. Yeah. Guam's beautiful and way cheaper than Hawaii. Should try Guam at some point then, yeah. Come out for first overseas trip in a long time. Went to Ireland. Was great, but a long flight. Any tricks for travelling? Like tricks for how to travel well, or what? Like, in what category of tricks? Tips and tricks. Saving money? Tips and tricks? So I'm sure I've got lots of tips and tricks about that. We couch surfing for one thing. We did couch surfing a lot when we were backpacking around the world. It saved us a tremendous amount of money. Accommodation's one of the most expensive parts of traveling. Also, couch surfing means you're getting to meet some amazing people, some hella stories. You're getting some really good stories, some really bad stories, everything in between. You're really experiencing what it's like to travel. And then when you come home, putting people up as a couch surfer as well to sort of repay the favour is a great idea as well, because you also get to sort of travel vicariously. If you love travel and can't travel, consider putting your house up for a couch surfing website, especially if you've got a spare room, you can have people coming over and just staying at your place, and you know, you can take them out and show them around places and hear all of their stories about travelling and where they've been to, and then you make friends with people that you then can keep up with after the fact, after you've gone home. It's one of the things that we did. We've got friends all over the world that if we wanted to ever go to Argentina, I'm sure we'd be able to jump in with Santiago or Gabriel. We've got Sophia and name escaping me, over in Croatia as well. And who did we stay with? Marino in Paris. Got all sorts of people that we stayed with that we really got along well with. Best way to see Fiji is to volunteer there. Worked for GVI on the main island there for a month, years after touring Fiji. We'll never forget it. Nice. I should get one of the Scratch World maps. I did have one for a while, yeah. It was shit though. It was a shitty quality one that it just tore through the map as I was trying to scratch it off. Big next non-PAX trip is Korea. It was also depressing as well, Cecily, because I feel like I'm well-travelled, above average of what most people are. Like, there are people who are way more well-travelled than me, obviously, but like, given the median of how many countries the median person has visited in their life, I'm probably on the above average scale. I've visited like 32, 33 countries in my life. But if you scratch them off all on a map, all it tells you is, holy shit, there's so many more countries that I haven't been to yet. Like, there are nearly 200 countries in the world. I've never even been to South America. There are huge continents that I've never been to. I've not been to anywhere in South America. I've not been anywhere in Africa. I've not been to Antarctica. I've been to barely anywhere in Asia. I've been to quite a bit of Europe and quite a bit of Australia and New Zealand. And that's pretty much it. North America, obviously, as well. I knew I was forgetting something. Next big non-PAX trip is Korea, 2025-ish or 26, hopefully. If I can get a damn mortgage, I may as well spend all the money on. If I can't get a damn mortgage, I may as well spend all that money on travel. Go to the UK and Europe, all the passports filled, yeah. Strasbourg's the one I was thinking of. Thank you, Michael. Picture Ben showed of asparagus rolls has white asparagus in it from a tin. Ugh. I mean, no wonder Ben doesn't like asparagus rolls. What's he doing getting tinned asparagus? Gross. Get some... and this is from Ben? Ben's a fucking food snob. He should know better than tinned asparagus. He's the one who's always talking about don't boil your fucking vegetables. Don't boil vegetables. Blah, blah, blah. It ruins the vegetables. Yeah, prepare your asparagus right and it's delicious. Getting stamps in my passport for the first time ever now. Fucking Brexit. A lot of states in the US. I've been to half of them. I've been to like 20. Shit, I counted it and forgot now. I want to say 27, but that doesn't sound quite right. I've been to about half of the states. This map you can get where it's like scratch, easy scratch of every country you go to. Yeah, that's the one I was talking about. Something nice when living in the EU, you don't necessarily need a passport to travel across it, though I suppose you might need one for the UK now. Yeah. It's just me, but I'm finding I don't want to vacation to countries anymore. I want to live in them. I love school holidays there. It's a different feeling. Yeah, fair enough. Okay, with known people staying, but not unknowns. Yeah, understandably, obviously, there's security risks and stuff to it. There are security measures in place within the Couchsurfing website, but if you're a female living alone, you obviously want to think twice before you put your house up on a Couchsurfing website. We stayed with plenty of single females because you can be vetted and you can have like all of your reviews and stuff about you, and they can have your security measures. And like we stayed at one place where he, as soon as we arrived, like we met with him in a neutral place before going to his house, and he took our passports and like scanned them and stuff, and like made sure that he had a copy of our passports before we went to stay with him in his house. He made sure that we had like a copy of like house rules, essentially: don't touch this, don't go in this place, blah blah blah. Generally speaking, people are good. People are generally good in the world. There are some shitty people out there that ruin it for other people, but generally speaking, people are good, and there are security measures in place on the Couchsurfing website, and you can take your own security measures on top of that, or you can just be like, that doesn't sound like something I would want to do. What if chicks think sharing is great, but mostly the actual travel, plane, airport and such, it was an ordeal. It is always going to be an ordeal, Melville. There's nothing that's going to reduce that. Travel light is the best trip. Like, travel as light as you can. Think about what you actually need and travel with only that, because then you're reducing the amount of time that you're waiting for like checking in bags. If you can get down to, if you're only going for like a week, get it in your carry-on and don't check on a bag. I've been to Canada. Well, it's 2 continents and one of those is Europe. 32 countries, wow. Yeah, I haven't done it in a while. Let's see if I can remember all of the different countries I've been to. How long have I been streaming? We'll go for 3 hours, shall we? Let's see if I can go all the countries that I've been to. Let's start logically. Are we counting England, Ireland, Scotland, Wales as different countries, or are we just counting the UK? We'll just count the UK and you can tell me if I can branch them out. Obviously, UK, Ireland, Republic of, France, the Netherlands, Belgium, Germany, Spain, Portugal, Monaco, Italy, Switzerland, Denmark, Norway, Sweden, Czech Republic, Austria, Hungary, Vatican City. If we went on a train through it and did not get off in it, I'm not going to count it. So we went on a train from Austria to Croatia, which would have taken us through Slovakia and Slovenia. Sorry, Slovenia, not Slovakia. Oh, I didn't say Hungary yet. Hungary. I'm not going to count Slovenia though, because we didn't get off the train. Croatia. So that's 20. Montenegro. United Arab Emirates, Singapore, and while I'm here, Thailand, China, technically, because I did get off the airport, go through customs, claim the bag, and have an hour before I had to go back to the airport. So my dad and I got on the bullet train and went into Shanghai Central, and then turned around and went back again. Shanghai, Beijing, can't remember. It's 25. Any other Asian countries? Oh, Indonesia. Went to Bali in December. It's 26. Any other Asian countries? I don't think I'm missing any Asian countries. Australia. New Zealand. Fiji. USA, Canada. It's 31. I'm definitely missing some then, because I've definitely been to at least 32. Because I've counted these before. And I think it was before I went to Indonesia, so I think I should be up to 33. How could I have missed any? I have been to Scotland and Wales, and have I been to Northern Ireland? I don't think I've been to Northern Ireland. So if we count UK as separate countries, then I can add on another 2, which would take me up to 33. But I don't think that's why, because I usually just count the UK as one. Any other countries that I've been to that I'm forgetting? That must be about it, I think. Use the 10 your brother owes you and book all of the travel. Fly to Antarctica. I want to do that to see the Southern Lights. I don't think it will count as having gone to Antarctica if you don't land on the ground. Yeah, that's the thing, innit? How people count the different countries and states and things. Like, I didn't want to count the fact that I'd been to Indiana. I didn't want to count that I'd been to Indiana as one of the states that I'd visited because I just drove through it and didn't really stop. Which is why I was glad to go to Gen Con, because I'm like, haha, definitely tick off Indiana now as one of the states that I've been to. Gotta go feed my cat before she eats my face. No worries, Saffron. The recipe calls for tinned asparagus. Well, the recipe's wrong. Get a different recipe. What recipe are you using? There's not a recipe for asparagus rolls. The recipe is cook some asparagus, cut off the crusts of some white bread, wrap it around. Always wanted to go to South America. Been to the UK and most of Europe, some of Southern Asian countries, never America or South America. I want to get to South America, but I want to learn Spanish first. I've tried a couple of times in my life learning Spanish, and I've gotten okay with it. Like my vocabulary's okay. Like I know a lot of South American. I know a lot of Spanish words, but I'm not conversational in it. One time when I was traveling in 2012, I was in, I want to say, a motel or a backpackers. It was a backpackers accommodation in, I want to say, Lisbon, Portugal. And there was a Spanish guy in the dorm with us, and I was leaving the dorm, and he was kind of like lacing his boots up or something, and I knew he didn't speak English, and I was kind of just, my instinct was to talk to him, and then I was like, I can't say something to him, and then I was like, no, fuck it, just try and talk to him, and I tried broken Spanish, and he spoke back to me, and I managed to muddle my way through a very simple conversation with him about how long he'd been there and how long he was, where he was going after that and stuff, and I was very proud of myself, and that was a long time ago. But I would want to learn much better Spanish before actually going on like a big South American trip. Fortunately, you have a strong passport, or it would have been more complicated to travel. Yeah, New Zealand is a strong passport. UK was at one point an even stronger passport. I don't even have a UK passport right now because I just let it lapse with all the Brexit bullshit. I was just like, New Zealand's as strong of a passport as UK is now. I'll just keep my New Zealand passport. Centauri 6 lived is defined as greater than a year. Rob always beats me with the visited. I swear last time he counted it was around 52. No, absolutely not. 32. Checking luggage that everything fits in the carry-on because buying stuff. So carry-on's going to be inside the checked luggage. I'll take a small bag on the plane, big enough for the iPad. Fair enough. Fun fact, costs as much for me to go to Europe as it does for me to go to Vancouver, even if it's an in-country flight. Jesus. You in the French Canada or something? You in the East Coast Canada? Been to Oz, NZ, US and Canada, and that's it. America, England, France, Italy, Germany. France, Switzerland, Italy, Vatican, Germany, Finland and Sweden, Norway. Barbados. Lovely chatting. No worries, Cecily. Thanks for being here. Did the 24-hour coach trip to Belgium from UK when we were in high school, so all the students could practice their French and German and buy chocolate at the markets. Yeah, nice. California, Tennessee, Georgia, Nevada. In Spanish, do you think you are A1 or A2 level? Don't even know what those mean. I would definitely be beginner. Well, not beginner. Like Lizzie and I were doing big Spanish lessons last year, and we started with beginner 1, and then very quickly into it we were like, I think this is too basic for us, and we went to beginner 2, and it was still like a little basic. So I should have gone like beginner 3, and I think they did 1 2 3 1 2 3 1 2 3 in beginner, intermediate, and advanced or whatever. So I was like beginner 3 Spanish. I haven't done it in forever though, so I've lost a lot of it, I'm sure. I'm pretty good with French though still. Like I haven't spoken French in a while, but I learned it at a time that my brain was still very much formulating. At high school I did French for 5 years. So a lot of the syntax and the words are still in there somewhere. Like if I immersed myself in France, I'm sure I'd still be pretty good at it. I'm sure it would come back to me quite quick. New Zealand's stronger. You wouldn't have had to queue in Frankfurt like I did. I can only hope would be added as an exception one day, but it won't happen while Redacted's in charge. We'll negotiate nicely, yeah. Ooh, okay. Tamagotchi, UK, Ireland, France, Monaco, Italy, Vatican City, Spain, Belgium, I lost count. My stupid pinky fucked me up. UK, Ireland, France, Monaco, Italy, Vatican, Spain, Belgium, Netherlands, Switzerland, Canary Islands. Canary Islands aren't their country. They're a part of... are they a part of Spain or a part of Britain? I can't remember. But they're not a country of themselves. Fuerteventura, again, not a country. Croatia, Corsica. Corsica's... I don't think Corsica's a country. Sardinia, again, that's an island, not a country. Brazil, US, South Africa, Oz, New Zealand, Fiji, Singapore, Malaysia. Oh, Malaysia. Wait, no, Malaysia. Have I been to Malaysia? Have I been to Malaysia? No, I don't think I have. Thailand, Burma. Did I include Thailand before? I think I did include Thailand. Burma, Cambodia, Vietnam, Japan, South Korea. Nice. It's a lot of travel. New Zealand ranks 5th on the global passport ranking. No, not bad, New Zealand. Not bad. I didn't know there was a global passport ranking. What are the top 5, Wraith? I do like Christmas, need the lights and the fun because the cold and dark is just depressing otherwise. 22 visited Centauri. Nice. Podemos hablar contigo en español fácil. Podemos, hemos is we, and it's podemos is something like, and it's podemos, I can't remember. We, hablar is to speak. Contigo is with you. In Spanish, easy, in easy Spanish, Castellano. Or prefieres evitarlo? I don't know what evitarlo means, but are you saying, can we speak with you in easy Spanish, Castellano, or would you prefer evitarlo? Evitarlo, I assume, is some like Castellano version of saying English. First time I had Christmas in the UK, going into pubs with the fire going and the decorations and music everywhere, and I was like, is this what the songs are all about? Yeah. That's one of the things that I miss about the UK is like winter Christmases. I feel like I haven't had a Christmas in 18 years. Because Christmas in summer just isn't Christmas. Especially as they're still singing like, I'm dreaming of a white Christmas. Go to fucking England then. What are you doing? Actually, don't go to England. They haven't had a white Christmas in about a decade. Have grey, dull, rainy Christmases. Dreaming of a white Christmas, go to fucking Norway or something. Learned a lot of German in high school, but my brain yeeted that as soon as it saw the tables. Yeah, I started German thinking it would be easy and gave up on it very quickly in high school. Same question for French. Do you think your A level is A2, B1? I, again, don't know what the fuck you're talking about, Michael. These numbers aren't numbers that I've ever used in categorizing my level of French, so I don't know what these levels are. Is the A's the beginners? How many numbers are the A's before the B's start? And who's categorizing them? I got a C in my GCSEs for my O-level French when I was 16. Conversation. I was conversational in French. I was very brief conversational, and now I would not remember how to hold a conversation, but I'd be able to translate a decent chunk of French if I saw it. I think the best thing about Rob learning French is he can do a very good French accent for a giant bee. Thank you. I was always complimented on my accent while I was studying French. They were like, really good pronunciation of the words. There's levels in language proficiency. A1 is the lowest, and my students are aiming around B1, B2, C1. What are the levels, though? All you're telling me is that A1's the lowest, but does it go A1 up to A100 and then it starts with the Bs? Does it go A1 up to A million and then starts with the Bs? Or does it go A1, B1 to C1 and then up to Z1 and then A2, B2, C2 up to Z2? More and more jokes with Vahid about me visiting New Zealand, so I guess my next destination whenever I have the money to travel. Yeah, get here. New Zealand's amazing. Everybody should come to New Zealand at least once. Greece! Centauri, thank you. Greece. Greece is something I forgot. I've been to Greece. So that's 32. So I think I'm still missing one. Because I'm pretty sure I've been to 33 countries, because I thought I'd been to 32 before I went to Indonesia. But it might be 32 after that. I'm not sure. So I might be missing one, otherwise it's 32. "2010 was the only proper white Christmas I remember. Technically we have them often, but like North Scotland." Yeah, yeah. Come to Canada for a white Christmas as well, depending on the part of the country. Yeah. Christmas in not winter isn't Christmas. Yeah, because we've got a lot of expats in New Zealand from the Northern Hemisphere, there's quite a culture of midwinter Christmas, and so a lot of people will get together on somewhere around late June and do a Christmas and have wear stupid jumpers, and if you're down south where it actually snows, do some snow and snowmen and stuff. Have mulled wine and open presents and things. Greece and Japan on my wish list. A1, A2 are beginner, B1, B2 is intermediate, C1, C2 is advanced fluent. Ah, okay. Then with French, I would probably be A2. I probably would have gotten up to B1-ish when I was studying at high school. I reckon if I spent a month in any French-speaking place of the world, I would probably easily get up to a B1, maybe even a B2 by the end of that month. Because a lot of it's still in there. It would just need jogging, and suddenly you need to turn on those pathways again and be like, oh, that's right. I found when I travelled and went to Quebec, for instance, a lot of my French was coming back to me without me really even putting any work in. Spanish-wise, I'd be like an A2, I'd probably. Duolingo's teaching me Korean. Nice. New Zealand get lost in the forests, not actually lost, just far enough on a safe map trails. Yeah, do not actually get lost in the forests of New Zealand. Unless you are a very proficient survivalist, you can die here. There are parts of New Zealand that have probably never seen humans. You could get deeply lost in the wilderness here and get gored by a pig and just die. Make sure people know where you are and where you're traveling. If you are a trekker, if you are off the beaten track, want to go survive in the wilderness on your own, make sure you're actually very good at that and have a GPS tracker on you or something. bought a 1,000-page tourism book which presented all of the countries. New Zealand's my top 100, in my top 10. Nice. For instance, my Thai-speaking listening is reaching A2 because I can just about hold my own now. Chandai pul ba phasa Thai need noi puen. I'll get to New Zealand at some point. Just need a time when I can get enough time off work. Yeah. New Zealand's actually quite similar to Tasmania, more so than mainland Australia, in my opinion. Interesting. I had a fun pig story. I have 2 fun pig stories. Why did Mikami remind you of pig stories? Look at this. I'm caught up, everybody. We know what that means. That's the end of the stream as soon as Wraith tells us her fun 2 pig stories. Wraith, you're on deck. Give me your 2 pig stories, and then we are ending the stream. It was me saying, careful where you trek in New Zealand off the beaten track, or you might get gored to death by a wild pig. Speaking of wild pig, Fancy's coming to New Zealand, and I successfully pissed Fancy. Wraith's just being super rude, Fancy. I would not do anything for her mayoral candidacy, because she's being very rude about you being a pig. I would never say anything like that because I am a very nice mayor. Thanks for the stream. No worries, Hester. Thanks for being here. Thanks for just hanging out with me and chatting about food and coffee and cake and desserts and travel. And don't forget, all the people watching, all these patrons, all these cool people who support me financially, and I really appreciate it. Don't forget, you also have currently got first access, first refusal at the tickets, the positions, the places on my game, my private game in Melbourne on Thursday the 5th of October from 9 AM. If you are going to be in Melbourne, or you can get to Melbourne for Thursday the 5th of October, 9 PM, buy a ticket and I shall see you for a game in person, and you get to keep a cool little goodie bag full of dice and yes, Fancy, full of dice and a terrain from Modular Realms and all sorts of fun things. So that should be fun. And also, if you can't do that, or you don't want to do that, it's too much for that, whatever, or you can't get there until later, I'm also going to be on 5 different panels during the PAX Australia weekend. I'm going to be on Cursed D&D Trivia, which is going to be a fun little trivia quiz. Then we've got the chatting with Deerstalker Pictures about making comedy skits for YouTube and what that entails. Then we've got what else am I doing? An accent workshop where we talk about how to make a voice for your characters, accents and voices and things, with AJ and Ellie K. Graham. Then we've got Death Roulette, which is going to be a lot of fun, just like last year. Don't forget to make your characters for Death Roulette. Thank you, Fancy. If you are in the Discord, there's a thing in one of the Discord channels, the town meeting hall, I think it is, where we are asking for you to make first level characters that my party can be before they get killed off. Just like last year, the party will sit down as like a group of 4 of them. The other 6 to 10, however many there are, will be up at the back of the stage waiting. Upon certain donations, I will kill off either one or all of the party. They will tear off their character sheet and go and stand at the back, and then 4 more will come and sit down, and they've got new character sheets. So we need a big stack of character sheets, and so we're asking you guys to make those character sheets. So get in the Discord and do it. And then the last panel is my Twitch Tales Live, which I'm very excited for, and we're going to be making that tomorrow morning at 9 AM New Zealand time. That is in just under 10 hours time from now. Join me right on Twitch for a Twitch Details world building character creation session where we're going to make up who the story is going to revolve around for the Twitch Tales Live. Cool. Wish I could go to PAX. The FOMO will be strong. Yeah, get on the live Twitch streams of them. Every one of my panels is streamed to one of the PAX channels, so make sure you're watching. So waiting for PAX to update the schedule app so I can plan my days. Yeah, fair enough. working through each class. Hope it's okay to put one of each in. If meh, then meh. Yeah, just fucking do it. Submit as many as you want. We're not necessarily going to print them all. We're going to print 50 or so of them until we decide like that's probably as many as we need. So submit to your heart's content. I don't give a shit. Do you know where the Cursed D&D panel is? I do not. No. Could probably look it up, couldn't I? Cursed D&D panel. Where is it? Cursed D&D trivia. Here we go. Let's scroll to the top where undoubtedly there's some sort of pinned information. Is there any pinned information here? Doesn't seem like it. You don't pin anything to this channel? Can we get the details of this panel pinned, please? Location, time, etc. Thanks, Rob. Have a good night. Glad to got you a bit of real time today. Yeah, no worries, Emilith. Good to have you here. Very keen to see Erika Ishii. Yeah, same. I reached out to Erika Ishii through her manager, through her talent agent, to say like, you want to be on Death Roulette? Because got to shoot your shot. And after a few days, her manager got back to me and said Erika has to decline this offer, but she's looking forward to bumping into you around the con, which is a very I'm not even sure if she passed on the message, but oh well, at least I tried. Death Roulette was fun. Thank you for posting the link. At level 1, there's only so much nuance each character can have without the background. Exactly. So that's exact. If you watched the last years, it's very likely that we're barely going to even know what race they are or what class they are before they get murdered. So it doesn't matter. That's why I'm not asking for a whole bunch of nuance with background and bullshit. It's not going to come out. We might not even get their names before they fucking rip up the character sheets and walk off. I've updated your schedule graphic, just need the place for the Cursed D&D. Oh, he's responsive. We're getting a response coming through by the looks of it. Typing now. If you new charisma check, no worries, Michael. Who's Erika Ishii? She's a D&D nerd. Best to look her up. She's done a million different things. She's a voice actor and a D&D nerd, and she's been on Dimension 20 and Critical Role and a bunch of other stuff. I've got such a crush on Erika. She's great. She's really she's a really cool person, and AJ got to meet her at Gen Con and says that she was really cool in person as well. Girls while pig hunting, lost a gumboot, used a sock to tackle thorns, made it home, and Uncle had caught pig already before I got home. Weed Steve for immortality, maybe with enough of a donation. Off to Small People's birthday party now. Have a good day, everyone. No worries, Harabed. Have a good one. What's a gumboot? Like a Wellington boot, a waterproof boot that goes up halfway up your shin. Rain boots, Wellington boots, gum boots. They also, there's a couple other words for them that I know as well. Can't remember what it is. Kookaburra Theatre, fancy. It's in the Kookaburra Theatre. Let me copy and paste it for you. Copy text. Here you go. This is the name, everybody, of the. This is the panel name that I'm gonna be in. Why did that not post? There it is. Melvin Mindslapper's Cursed D&D Trivia. At 2 p.m. on the Friday in the Kookaburra Theatre. Cool. Average Kiwi footwear, yeah. Alright, that's enough. It is 11:15. I guess I'm not getting my episode 3 of the Baldur's Gate 3 versus D&D thing done today, but that's fine. I'll hopefully get some of it done tomorrow after the stream, maybe. I don't know. I've got a lot to do tomorrow as well. Shit. When am I going to get the time to edit things? Fuck. Just no time for things. I need to not sleep. I need a pill that means that I can stay awake all night without detriment. Can somebody just invent some way of not needing sleep, please? Alright, I'm gonna go to bed. Thanks for being here, everybody. Thanks for being patrons. I really appreciate the patronage. It's a big part of how I can earn a living. Like, a lot of my money comes from Patreon, so I really do appreciate the support, and I hope you guys enjoy the perks that come with being patrons. Send me stuff, Rob. What am I sending you, fancy? Galoshes? What? Can just do stuff while you sleep. Not the stuff that I need to do. I suppose you could do some of the you could do the Baldur's Gate 3 editing stuff. I could send you that. Yeah, alright, I'll send you some Baldur's Gate 3 stuff. But all of the other shit that I need to be doing is all Viva la Dirt League D&D stuff and the Girls Game campaign stuff. And anyway. Bye, everyone. Bye.